To know, it makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started. It's time to get things started. On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Okay. As I say, it's the crap before the nice weather. We are like anticipating summer weather.
I can't
What is
wait.
it with this weirdness, though? I mean, the only complaint I would have is how do we go? It's going to be 53 as a high today. And Monday it'll be 88. Tuesday it'll be 90. So maybe a little ramp up would be nice. Give us a few decent spring days, but apparently not. Apparently we're not.
Well, the problem is too is we do get those decent spring days, but they're scattered. They came
They
the
are,
first week of
yes.
April, the third week of April, the second day of May.
And I don't know if you're looking at the forecast into next week, but we have like 3 days of 80s,
Yeah.
90s, but then we go right down to 68, 70.
Which I'll take, to be honest.
Certainly,
as long as we're not dealing with frost warning,
yeah.
which we dealt with earlier this week twice actually.
Couple things. Big worry, yes, for the Yankees, Davey, with Fried and then Alvarez for the Mets. You know, you would think, well, not such a problem, but Alvarez's bat has been hot. Now the other guy who's platooning,
Torrens, yeah,
he's got an arm on him.
he's got a cannon.
Yeah, and you just can't run on him. But Alvarez can, when he's in, Alvarez can DH. Alvarez is hot right now at the bat and has been clutch. So I hate to see him on the bench, but we're going to for a little while.
And speaking of clutch, Carson Benj got the game-winning
How about that
single,
kid?
and
Yeah.
and I want to call him McEwing. Remember Super Joe McEwing?
Yeah.
This is just Ewing, another Ewing in New York. Hopefully, he has more success. Patrick Ewing was a great, obviously, athlete and successful player, but they never got over the hump. The Knicks didn't, and I hope it's not the same case for the Mets.
A couple of things we're going to get into today. A lot of stuff happening. Richard this morning says we were talking about Sangertown. Housing is coming to Sangertown, and you're going to see it also at the New Hartford Shopping Center, he says. The reason why it was rejected because the developer didn't classify the kind of housing they wanted to open. New Hartford did not want Section 8 housing, so that was the only reason it was rejected. It will happen. I got to tell you, it needs to be like, and I'm not saying it has to be for a retired population. It could be anybody. But, I keep hearing from my kids these developments around the country that are in warmer climates where there's a pool, there's a bar, there's a little grocery store, there's everything. You can get your hair done there. You can, but you're even in the wintertime, you never have to really go outside. Everything is like no jacket required. I mean, that is a pretty cool thing for a cold weather upstate New York in the wintertime.
It is interesting. Now, I just want to correct one thing you say. You can get your hair did.
Is that how it is?
But
yeah.
With the technology we have today, imagine this in one wing of let's see, the existing Sangertown Mall. You can put these backgrounds on yourself when you're on like a Zoom call or something.
Yeah.
One of these corporate meetings, you have it's like a beach background. Not only would you not have to go outside and be in a snowstorm or if it's 12 below and all this stuff, you could line the walls with some type of a screen that makes it look like you're walking down a beach or something.
You could.
Like a boardwalk or something like that. That would be kind of cool.
I just think there's opportunity, and And you can still have your stores there. Target, Boscov's.
They would probably do better if you have people living there and they need, they need the groceries, as you say. They need to get their hair did. They need to go to the gym. Which, by the way, was it Steve sent us a message about some planned fitness facility they wanted to put in Sangertown, and then he followed up to say apparently there's been some type of a snag, but it's still planned to go there based on that website.
And then New Hartford, we're talking about, I guess the BJ's thing is a rumor, and BJ's coming to New Hartford may not be true. However, the sports bar is coming, and that'll be open probably November, which is
what's that, like a Buffalo Wild Wings?
No, the one that you had in the news the other day. At the old pizzeria Uno.
Tully's.
Yeah, Tully's. Yeah.
Tully's. And then and then
they announced yesterday that Chick-fil-A
is it looks like it's going to happen over there near that is it at home? Yeah.
Which is a parking lot.
So
it's just a huge parking lot. It's funny because that's a giant parking lot for you. Look at so many other facilities around here. As a matter of fact, I watched part of one of the recent council meetings where people are complaining about parking for the 4th of July at Harbor Point.
Yeah.
And then you look at a place like At Home, and it's
a
smaller store. With
you're going to park it at home, and they're going to bus you in. That's what they'll do. Richard,
Why don't they just take over the old Big Lots instead of making it because they want to do drive-through. I totally understand.
Richard this morning also, in 3 months, Wolfspeed has gone straight up. If you're wondering about Wolfspeed.
Prices, is he saying?
Stock. It has gone from $18 to $51. Wow. All AI driven. It would have been awesome if I invested in it. And then one more.
Why does he say it's all AI driven?
It's AI, whatever their technology that that is sending their stock up is AI driven. Ba-boom, bomb. And then every horse that ran in the Derby is skipping the Preakness. Only a 2-week interval between Kentucky Derby and the Preakness is way too short for a racehorse. And running Watkins Glen, where they did this week, was stupid. By the way, the Preakness is this weekend, is on Saturday.
Yeah, so I find this interesting. I know nothing really about the sport. Like I said, I picked the names. I've been to Saratoga once. I've been to Vernon Downs a couple times. I don't want to pretend that I have some knowledge here, but I just find it interesting that this is like all of a sudden we got to rest these horses. 2 weeks is too close. They've been doing it that way for 140 years.
Has it always been 2 weeks after?
I don't know if it's 2 weeks, if it's been 3 weeks, but it's pretty close. It's not like they stretch it out a month.
Scott will be one to talk to about that.
It almost reminds me of NBA, where it's like, what do they call it? Smitty, what do they call it when they take games off? They take, random games off. They call it, it's like scheduled maintenance. I forget the term they use.
Well, it actually is just ruining the chance for a Triple Crown. And
right.
So how did they do it back then when we were, not that long ago, a few years ago? How did they do it? So the other issue that's a biggie today that we'll be talking to at least Joe Beatrice about, and that is South Utica Firehouse. There's been talk for quite some time that is dilapidated. And now the mayor has said it's being shut down temporarily while they investigate to make sure that it is safe. And so where are they moving that? Their apparatus is being moved to which firehouse now? The problem you're going to have is, they're saying it's not going to affect people really all that much when it comes to response. However, if you live up near the New Hartford border, those fire trucks are coming a long way.
Park Avenue is where they're going to be now, for the time being.
So those trucks will be coming a long way, if God forbid there is a fire. So the sooner they fix this, I guess, the better. But something's going to have to be done fairly quickly, I would think.
Just quick on the horses. The term I was trying to think of is load management. In the NBA, you hear guys talk about load management. So you get like random, if we have a game on Saturday and a game on Thursday, they're going to get the Tuesday game off.
Yeah.
But again, the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and even the 90s, the best players played all 82 games.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the same thing with the horses now. They ran this way for 140 years, and now they go, well, you can't run them every 2 weeks. It's not good for the horse. Since when?
On that South Utica fire station, there was that lot right across the street that used to be the back end, the bowling alley.
Yeah.
In that area. That's a huge lot.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't bring in, like these nice trailers that are used for construction and for offices. And you could bring in RVs where they could sleep and the fire trucks could park right over there and they wouldn't, the response time wouldn't change. That was just in my head. But I guess we're too late for that. They've already done what they're doing. Later this morning, this whole issue of the immigrant who is now in ISIS detention center.
And just to be clear, that's ICE, not ISIS.
Did I call it ISIS? That's funny.
ISIS.
In the detention center in Batavia. My apologies. And there's a big, the big feel is that this guy has been taken advantage of, caught up in a political fight. They were targeting Paul Michonne, who's the ex-town supervisor, and when they couldn't get him to talk and say anything negative or incriminating against Michonne, they arrested him and said he was trying to steal money when it was actually, they're saying, the girls in the office who were filling out his time cards for him. And everybody thought everything was kosher. The problem is, I've never heard of a scenario where a municipality hired a person as an employee who was actually a company who had 5-10 employees working for him, and they did the work. That would be a contract you'd hire with a company, not hiring an employee.
Right.
So this whole
is an
thing
odd situation.
seems very, very odd to me. And Paul Michonne, Davey, thank you, is on this morning. At around 8:30, we're going to speak with him, but a lot more to get to as well. Tanya J. Powers standing by on the line right now. Tanya, with Fox News Radio, the latest update on the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. What do we know, Tanya? Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Well, I mean, obviously, there's any number of ways we could go with this.
Yeah.
It seems like there's news constantly. We are getting more information about the ship that was anchored off the east coast of the UAE that was seized. According to the British military, it's apparently this vessel was taken by unauthorized personnel. It was near the Strait of Hormuz, which, of course, this is a central topic of what's going on right now in Beijing with the meeting between President Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping. This is going to be we knew this was going to be a big topic, right? This was going to be the Strait of Hormuz was going to be a big deal, and we had expected this to be a topic that President Trump would bring up in, maybe in light of, hey, you guys are close with Iran, maybe you can, talk to them and get them to move on this Strait of Hormuz thing.
Yeah.
So because China is the largest purchaser of Iranian oil, there was an interview, matter of fact, with Sean Hannity, with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and he said that the president was going to make the case for Beijing to exert some influence on Iran. And kind of see if they could get that done. Now, prior to his leaving yesterday, President Trump did talk about that somewhat. I think he had basically said we don't need it. We don't need
their help. We're just fine.
So who knows? He keeps saying that we have Iran very much under control. But there, as we can see, there's obviously some things that have to be worked out, especially with the Strait of Hormuz and the recent reporting that Iran is not nearly as low on munitions as has been circulated by the government. So those are kind of those don't match either.
Also, what's interesting, the interesting conundrum here for us, I think, is China needs financial ties with the United States. They need us to continue to buy their products. The president wants them to buy our products. But through all of this, militarily, I feel that China is looking at this in a way where the longer this goes on, the worse it is for the United States, the worse it is for Donald Trump. And there's a part of that they enjoy. So it's Very interesting to see where all of this goes. But it's interesting, all the attention on China. What an amazing country when you think about it. And that Great Wall of China is just unbelievable. Hard to believe that the humans, one person after person after person, block by block, built that incredible structure. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's the only word I can come up with. You can see it from the moon, Tanya.
That's what I hear. Yeah, I've never been there, but
I was there yesterday. We checked it out. It's visible.
That's awesome.
Let's just say,
and I would believe you.
Let's just say this: I wish I'd have brought my binoculars, but I didn't. Okay, Tanya, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Tanya, Jay Powers from Fox News Radio. You know, someday we'll be saying that. Be like, damn it, I left my binoculars at home. Maybe I can use yours. Because otherwise, I'm not going to be able to see anything, for God's sake. But not yet. We're not there yet. We are not there yet. Here's Manaski with an update at 6:40.
Thank you, Bill. Cloudy skies, 44 degrees. Well, as Tanya just mentioned there, Chinese President Xi Jinping is reportedly in agreement with President Trump that the Strait of Hormuz should be opened. The White House releasing a summary of today's meeting between the two leaders and claims both Xi and Trump agree the strait must remain open for the free flow of energy. The White House is reportedly considering granting 250 pardons for America's 250th birthday. White House sources tell the Wall Street Journal that the plan is still in preliminary discussions and that the pardons could be announced on June 14th, which is both Flag Day and President Trump's birthday. Former South Carolina lawyer Alex Murdaugh's murder convictions have been overturned, and he is headed for a new trial. In a 5-0 vote, the South Carolina Supreme Court granted Murdaugh the new trial on Wednesday. The justices said that a county clerk improperly influenced the jury in Murdaugh's original trial. He was convicted of killing both his wife and son in March of 2023. Florida residents are suing to stop the Trump presidential library from being built on prime waterfront property in Miami. A lawsuit filed Wednesday by a group of Miami residents claims state officials violated the Constitution when they transferred the property to Trump's Library Foundation because it is essentially a gift to the president. Sitting presidents are not allowed to accept gifts they benefit from financially, and that is the crux of that lawsuit. A New York man has been convicted of running a Chinese spy operation in Manhattan. WABC says 64-year-old Liu Jianwang was convicted Wednesday of acting as an illegal foreign agent and destroying text messages from a Chinese government handler. Prosecutors say Liu and his co-defendant started a secret police station in Chinatown after attending a ceremony in his native Chinese province back in 2022. And a man is set to be executed in Oklahoma this morning for 2 killings back in 2007. Raymond Johnson was convicted of murdering Brooke Whitaker and her 7-month-old daughter, attacking Whitaker with a claw hammer before setting her and the child on fire while both were still alive. The execution is scheduled for 10 o'clock this morning. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 6:43.
After a pretty damp Wednesday morning, now we're looking at more spotty showers and even a thunder shower in today's forecast, but not much as the low kind of slows down and spins to our northeast. Partial sunshine in between at about 60 degrees. I think more hours of dry than wet today. Maybe a shower tonight, 45. North country a little cooler. Some afternoon showers tomorrow, 65. Chance of showers, but up near 80 on Saturday. Mostly sunny Sunday. Better day of the weekend, up near 80. I'm meteorologist Ray Stijik at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Cloudy skies, 44 degrees at 6:43.
The commenters are already at it on YouTube.
Is that today's?
They're in the midst of their.
Oh,
they're in the midst of their circle.
Oh yeah.
They're jerks too when you look at it, but they're enjoying themselves. Talking back and forth and stroking each other.
About what?
Listen to this. I swear to God. This is the problem. It's deeds and weeds and wick and whack and jack and off. It is They're going to find something in absolutely every word that comes out of your mouth or my mouth. This is today's big one. This is today's biggie. Bill refuses to call someone an illegal. He is too woke. And then Nick Barba. If you have a nice car, don't go to the fireworks to avoid door dings. Okay, I don't know what that has to do with anything, Nick, but I think you're probably right. His effing lawyer. This is Deeds. This Deeds is really upset about this.
Okay.
His effing lawyer said he is here illegally. Irresponsible to mislead your audience, Bill. Well, clearly I'm not misleading you. No one's
what is
First
he
of
upset
all,
about?
that I didn't call him an illegal.
What'd you say?
I just said he was an immigrant, okay? So here's the thing.
Oh, okay.
The guy's been here for almost 30 years working. In fact, I was out to dinner last night, and there were these two older guys behind us, and I was trying to hear all of it. They're like, you hear what's going on with that Mexican? Now, they didn't call him an immigrant or an illegal. They call him a Mexican. This guy was doing all this work for the town of New Hartford, and then they're going after that supervisor guy. What's his name? I don't know. Missione? Yeah, that's the guy. And and they end up arresting the Mexican, and now he's at a detention center in Buffalo. Really bad. It's very bad. Everybody's upset about it. You know that guy? Which one? The Mexican? Yeah, that guy did my sister's bathroom. Beautiful job. And he had like 5 or 6 workers. Did a tremendous job on the bathroom 10 years ago. So the thing is that he has been a resident here, and we brought him. We allowed it to happen. We hired him. We continue to give this person work. We have responsibility here. So I don't know what the story is. Did he fudge his timesheet? Did he knowingly, illegally fudge his timesheet? Well, the attorney, or the effing attorney, if I may, Deeds, says he did not, that they were filling him out for him, that he had employees that were working and doing the work, and ultimately the work got done. We've heard from one side of this, and we'll continue today to hear from one side, because Michione is on, the ex-town supervisor, who supposedly was the target of all of this. But again, I'm trying to look at this from a standpoint of we still need to hear from the other side. We're still going to need to hear from the DA. And in fact, I believe there is a court appearance that's coming up on this on Friday, tomorrow. Thank you, Davey. So there's a lot of to be continued here. And my stance on this whole immigrant, illegal, whatever, worker, migrant worker thing is we need to, for construction, for home improvement, for not that much up here, but certainly along the Texas border, you want a house built, it's being built by immigrants, and chances are they're here illegally, but they're beating everybody's price, and the wealthiest of people are hiring to build their homes or whatever they're having built, and then the same thing with the farming community. It's a real problem, and we need to fix it. We have participated in creating this problem because we're saying, come here any way you can get here. I'm going to find a way to pay you, because I'm going to save money. This is the problem. So to throw blame, Deed, I think you should be sheep because you follow what is said on Fox News and by the president when it comes to this. And you follow it like you're sheep. You don't think for yourself because you don't use your own brain cells. You've left yourself in a position, Deeds, where you can only repeat, and you do a really good job of it, but repeat the talking points. But don't you think this needs to be resolved? I don't think it's right, but it has to be somehow fixed. So, and picking them up and shipping them out of the country and leaving these companies without employees is a problem. One more thing. How in the hell is a municipality hiring someone who's an illegal, who's here illegally?
We're going to have to bleep that out.
But think about this. How are we doing this? We're focusing on they hired him as an employee who really should have been hired in a contract for a company. But the question would be, if he's not here legally and he doesn't have the proper paperwork, or does he? His attorney says he goes to Syracuse every month or every week or whatever and renews his paperwork. So that would mean that he is here legally.
Correct.
Even if he came illegally. So
Correct.
This is not some. You just can't glaze over this and come up with a quick solution. I don't know what's going to happen to him on Friday, and maybe he did break the law. But I think we got to hear everybody out before we can form that conclusion. Sorry, I'm done.
I'm just going to say one thing is for sure. We will get to the bottom of this. Is it Michonne, Michonne, Michonne?
That we want to
get
get
the
to the
correct
bottom of.
pronunciation once and for all.
What is the real pronunciation? But don't get so upset. There is no big mission for me to spread a liberal agenda. I don't have that mission. You're thinking way too much into this. It's just a word. On the line right
Which,
now.
by the way, I feel like you were whatever. We'll move on. You referred to him in what Deeds wanted you to say. But again, if he's in conversation with the government, he might have entered the country illegally. But I don't think he's quote an illegal. Because the government knows he's here and he's checking in.
And
right?
apparently
When we talk about illegals, I think of people who are hiding from law enforcement and from authorities. They don't want the government to know they're here.
I agree with you there.
He's employed by a town in central New York.
Yes.
They know he's here.
Maybe I should just call him Dirtbag. Deeds would be okay with that. Talks between President Trump and China's President Xi kicked off late last night, and we want to get the latest quickly. Apologize, Jonathan. You're here with us now.
Yeah, we're blabbing, John.
Jonathan Savage, good morning. What are we arguing about the same old, unfortunately, in the United States. From London, what do we know on this trip to China?
Yeah, hello, good morning. Yes, President Trump says it's one of the most important U.S.-China summits in years, but China is delivering a pretty stark warning in the form of President Xi Jinping using the opening meeting to say that the issue of Taiwan, if it's mishandled, could lead to clashes and even conflicts. The talks lasted about 2 hours, which is longer than expected, and they went through a whole bunch of issues according to the summaries from the various governments: trade, semiconductors, agriculture, Iran and Ukraine, fentanyl, Strait of Hormuz, all that. But the Chinese summary mentioned Taiwan, saying it was the most important issue in U.S.-Chinese relations. Interestingly, the White House summary omitted Taiwan completely. It didn't mention it at all, perhaps wanting to avoid escalating tensions publicly because we know the U.S. recently approved an $11 billion arms package for the island.
Interestingly, this is a completely different China, even from the last time President Trump was in office during his first term. They have been in a race to improve. Although their economy is struggling a bit right now, but militarily they have been advancing tremendously.
Indeed, and they have been very assertive, arguably aggressive in the South China Sea and encroaching upon territory disputed by their neighbors. And what we have seen is the United States military doing an awful lot more to support those neighbors, such as the Philippines. So there are an awful lot of areas where the two countries can come into conflict, but they are trying to focus this week on areas where they can cooperate, such as trade and business matters.
Going to be interesting. A lot of coverage over here on this this meeting and this trip, and it'll be interesting to see where it all goes. Jonathan, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jonathan Savage with Fox News Radio. A couple of other quick comments because people are on early to be on fire. Very early to be on fire. We hate these illegal immigrants, well, except for the ones that pick our crops and the ones who build our houses. People will likely change their tune when prices skyrocket because they're no longer here. And that is an issue. And you're hearing from farmers who say, we're struggling in finding people to do the work. Well, they're Americans that'll do the work. I don't know, not according to these. And you don't get it with the small farms. It's the big farms that really need the help.
You know, I don't know exactly the wage, but I would work on a farm. I think it's good. You be outside. It's good for you health wise, but I'm not doing it for $10 an hour.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it for $10 an hour.
Right. Quick break. We'll come back and a ton of comments. Feel free to call in You can complain
That's hard work.
verbally.
That's very hard work.
If you have the bravery to do so. 315-736-0186.
Start your savings at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Now through May 31st, get up to $170 back on a Firestone prepaid MasterCard. Get up to $70 when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Get an additional $100 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your CFNA credit card. Don't wait. These offers end May 31st. Visit Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or online at tallmanstire.com.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So, yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds too. Get a quote right now at 800-444-9336, 800-444-9336, or biglou.com.
Meet Anthony Constantino, running to represent us in Congress.
First off, you, I see through your game.
Wannabe rapper, wannabe Republican. But he can't rap his way out of reality. He's a lifelong Democrat who helped fund Trump's impeachment. After the George Floyd riots, he called our cops racist and sold Kill the Police stickers. He claims he's America first, but he shipped jobs overseas, even replaced workers with robots. Anthony Constantino, worse than a wannabe. He's a fraud.
And I know just how this ends.
The real conservative in the race? Robert Smullen, a Marine colonel. He fought for our country. Smullen was appointed by President Trump and will fight for the America First agenda. He's the Republican conservative and law enforcement endorsed candidate. On June 23rd, vote Robert Smullen for Congress. Proven patriot, ready to serve.
I'm Robert Smullen, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Robert Smullen for Congress.
The Memorial Day sale is on at Mattress Express, upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer. Remember, no one has all the brands under one roof, and we're giving away prepaid gas cards with select king and queen sets up to $1,000. Hurry!
We're your neighbors, friends, and your family. We care about our community, your business, and most important, you.
We support charities like the United Way, McMahon Ryan Child Advocacy Center, who are the members of IBEW Local 43 and NECA Contractors. You don't just see our work, you live it. From the JMA Wireless Dome, hospitals, schools, and city buildings, the IBEW is part of the community.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
I cannot believe I just heard what I heard during that commercial. It just blows my mind. Not the, listen, the IBEW, whoever put the music behind the commercial, ripped off a Pond 5 instrumental. And in the background you hear Pond 5. Pond 5. They put that there so people won't use it. I swear to God, I'm sure we mixed that and added the music. You got to be kidding me. Can we do better than that?
Wait a minute.
Pond 5. Play it back again. I kept hearing something like, who is...
Are you saying the music bed is an immigrant or the music bed was illegal?
The music bed is an illegal immigrant. I'm telling you. Pond 5. Pond 5. Most people probably don't know what I'm talking about, but like you would if there was a
photo, you'd put a
photo, you'd put a watermark on it.
That's like an audio watermark.
It's an audio watermark. You put it in there so no one would use the instrumental music without paying for it. So they put in there Pond 5. Pond 5.
Until you purchase it and they remove that.
And they remove it.
And then
you
you
get
can
a
use
version
it
without it. But the
Something
version
tells
that
me someone didn't buy it.
We're playing currently has Pond 5 on it. Oh, I swear. I mean, I don't swear. That would be illegal. Pond 5.
Well, it would be an immigrant.
Pond 5. River Hills Properties is the fastest growing real estate company in the area, and they continue to grow. For God's sakes, they've grown all the way to Sarasota, Florida, with offices here in Barneveld, Little Falls, in Newport, and Rome. It's the no lockbox concept. They are with you every step of the way, from the very Pond 5 beginning to the very end. And that is from the moment you say, hey, we're selling our house and we want to use River Hills. They are there to help you lower that stress level. Big deal. And there's the book, which is like a manual for the home. And if you're considering becoming one of those snowbirds to the south, River Hills has a full team of agents ready to help you there as well. Maybe you keep something up here and you do the winter-summer thing, the snowbird thing. Call River Hills Properties. Nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 Utica.
From the WB Payne Insurance Studio, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
President Trump honored at a Chinese state banquet. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I'd now like to raise a glass and propose a toast to the rich and enduring ties between the American and Chinese people.
The president also invited China's leader to the White House in September after Xi Jinping offered a toast of prosperity.
That the China-U.S. relationship is the most important bilateral relationship in the world. We must make it work and never mess it up.
Now they're having dinner 12 hours ahead of us following talks between the two leaders. Fox's Aisha Hosni reports from Beijing. Trade was a big topic of discussion, and
both countries agree that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. And after reading through this readout, there was really nothing in there that said that China was going to help pressure Iran in any way to ending the conflict.
And she also got a statement from China after the talks ended.
This is a not so thinly veiled warning from the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokeswoman on Taiwan, the issue of Taiwan, which, by the way, gets a ton of its defense weapons from the U.S. This is what she wrote. President Xi stressed to President Trump that the Taiwan question is the most important issue in China-U.S. relations.
There's another meeting of leaders that may or may not have happened.
The office of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced he met with the president of the UAE, resulting in a historic breakthrough in relations. But the United Arab Emirates insists no such meeting occurred. The visit said to have happened in secret during the Iran war. The announcement came a day after the U.S. ambassador to Israel revealed the Israelis had sent the UAE Iron Dome air defense weapons and personnel. The Arab state has faced Iranian missile and drone fire in recent months.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage, and Iran has seized another ship in the Strait of Hormuz. America's listening to Fox News.
You know, protecting your home should not be a headache. Many security companies, they lock you into these multi-year contracts. No, Simply Safe Home Security, they do things differently. With Simply Safe, you get award-winning 24/7 professional monitoring around $1 a day without any long-term commitment. Simply Safe, they just want to earn your trust every day by doing a great job. Right now, you'll get 50% off your custom system by going to simplysafe.com/Hannity. Half off when you go to simplysafe.com/Hannity. And remember, there's no safe like Simply Safe.
When disasters hit and cell networks fail, Rapid Radios keeps you connected. Instant push-to-talk with coast-to-coast range. No contracts, no monthly bills. Trusted by law enforcement, government agencies, and over 500,000 users. Always ready when your phone isn't. Because in an emergency, seconds matter, and reliability isn't optional. Go to rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for 5% off and free shipping from Michigan. Rapid Radios. Communication redefined.
President Trump holding talks in China and dining now at a state banquet comes a day after a conviction related to a Chinese spy outpost in New York City.
Lu Jianwang, who also goes by Harry Lu, has been convicted of acting as an illegal foreign agent and destroying text messages from a Chinese government handler. Federal prosecutors say Lu and a co-defendant established the outpost in Chinatown in 2022 after Lu returned to his native province, where China's Ministry of Public Security announced it was opening 30 secret police stations around the world. Prosecutors say China's government uses them to monitor people it views as enemies of its interests. Lu's lawyers had argued the outpost was a community center in New York City. Lisa Lacera, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are rising about 300 points for the Dow, the day after the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 closed at record highs. In the NBA playoffs, Cleveland beat Detroit 117-113 in overtime, giving the Cavaliers a 3-2 series lead over the Pistons. There was also OT on ice. That game and series-winning goal on TNT gave Colorado a 4-3 win over Minnesota, advancing the Avalanche to the NHL Western Conference Final. Golf's second major tournament of the year underway, the PGA Championship. The first groups teed off a few minutes ago.
Just west of Philadelphia, Newtown Square, Pennsylvania, at Aronimink Golf Club. Defending champion, world number 1 ranked Scotty Scheffler, favorite to win the Wanamaker Trophy for the second time. Odds just under 5-1 at the FanDuel Sportsbook, where the second favorite is two-time PGA Championship winner, world number 2 ranked Rory McIlroy, who explained why Scheffler is number 1 in the world.
It's not flashy, but he dots his I's and crosses his T's and does all the right things. Gets that relentless pursuit of the process.
Jared Max, Fox News.
McIlroy tees off next hour. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Mostly cloudy skies, 45 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. News time is 7:05. This news update brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. The final defendant in the beating death of Midstate Correctional Facility inmate Messiah Nantwi is now pleading guilty. Former corrections officer Thomas Eck pleaded guilty to omitting certain details in the paperwork he filed after the death of Nantwi last year. This occurred in court yesterday. Eck was supposed to go on trial for multiple crimes, including manslaughter and evidence tampering. He originally ejected a plea offer that would have put him behind bars for 12 years. Under this deal, he's set to serve 1 year in jail. Out of an abundance of caution, Fire Station 4 in the city of Utica at the corner of Shepherd Place and Sunset Ave will be temporarily closed while the city evaluates structural concerns involving the apparatus bay floor. UFD officials have proactively relocated the fire apparatus and personnel assigned to Station 4 to the Park Avenue Fire Station to ensure uninterrupted emergency response coverage to the district and surrounding areas. Officials say at this time they anticipate minimal impact to emergency services and response capabilities. The temporary closure was initiated to prioritize the safety of fire department personnel, equipment, and the public while the structural assessments are conducted. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office were part of an investigation with the State Department of Health and the Bureau of Narcotics Enforcement, along with the DEA. This involving a New Hartford dentist who is accused of overprescribing narcotics to patients who were not actively being treated by him. Earlier this month, investigators from the Bureau of Narcotics Enforcement, DEA, and investigators from the Sheriff's Office went to the office of Lawrence Marks and gathered more information. He was subsequently arrested and charged with 2 counts of criminal sale of a prescription for a controlled substance by a practitioner, which are both Class C felonies, and 1 count of falsifying business records in the first degree, a Class E felony. Marks was held at the county correctional facility pending his arraignment in Cap Court. And the State Department of Transportation advising motorists that a portion of Fish Hatchery Road in the city of Rome will be closed between State Route 46 and Williams Road beginning on Monday. That will continue through December. Motorists are advised to follow the signed detours utilizing State Route 46, Potter Road, Turin Road, Williams Road, and Fish Hatchery Road. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:08. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
After a pretty damp Wednesday morning, now we're looking at more spotty showers and even a thunder shower in today's forecast, but not much as the low kind of slows down and spins to our northeast. Partial sunshine in between at about 60 degrees. I think more hours of dry than wet today. Maybe a shower tonight, 45. North country a little cooler. Some afternoon showers tomorrow, 65. Chance of showers, but up near 80 on Saturday. Mostly sunny Sunday. Better day of the weekend, up near 80. I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Cloudy skies and 45 degrees at 7:09. All right, from the IBEW Local 43 Sports Desk, we'll begin in baseball today. The Yankees lose 7-0 to the Orioles in their rubber match against Baltimore. Max Fried tagged with the loss after allowing 3 runs on 5 hits. He was pulled from the game with elbow soreness. The Yankees have dropped 5 of their last 6. They visit the Mets for the start of round 1 of the Subway Series at Citi Field tomorrow. The Mets, meanwhile, get a 3-2 walk-off win against the Tigers. Carson Benj drove in the game-winning run, which was the rookie Ewing, scoring from second on an RBI single in the bottom of the 10th. The Mets have won back-to-back games, and they look to sweep Detroit as the series wraps up this afternoon. NBA action last night. The Cavs stole one in Detroit. They now lead the best-of-7 series 3-2. Cleveland gets a 117-113 win in overtime. They trailed by 7 with 2 minutes left. Detroit did not score another point. Cleveland came back, obviously, to force overtime and then took control in the extra session. They lead that series 3-2. The winner gets the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. No games tonight. On Friday, the Timberwolves will host the San Antonio Spurs in Game 6. The Spurs lead that series 3-2. The Knicks hope to have a key piece back when they start the Eastern Conference Finals. There is optimism that OG Anunoby will return from his hamstring injury by the start of the finals. Anunoby was injured in Game 2 of the East Finals, semifinals against the Sixers. Head coach Mike Brown saying that he participated in portions of practice Wednesday, and they will reevaluate him tomorrow. The Colorado Avalanche heading to the Western Conference Finals. They were down 3-0 last night, came back for a 4-3 win over the Minnesota Wild in overtime to win Game 5 on home ice. The 2 remaining series continue tonight. That's the Buffalo Sabres hosting the Montreal Canadiens in Game 5. That series tied at 2 games apiece. Also, the Vegas Golden Knights look to advance past the Anaheim Ducks on the road in Game 6 of their series. And, Bill, the second major tournament in golf is underway. Scotty Scheffler looks to add to his legend when the PGA Championship tees off. Scheffler won last year's tournament by 5 strokes. The 29-year-old will be alongside Justin Rose and Matt Fitzpatrick in the first 2 rounds. Alex Fitzpatrick, Ben Griffin, and Braden Shattuck will be among the first group of players teeing off this morning.
Coming up, we'll speak with Assemblywoman Marianne Buttonshaw and get the latest on this budget. Marianne, of course, the 119th, spending her final year in the Assembly, at least for now. Okay, I'm sure we've all heard about the lockdown, the bomb threat, all of that occurred at New Hartford High School and Oxford Road Elementary. And so when school was out, I get a call from my wife. I'm going to be in big trouble for talking about this, but I get a call from my wife, and she said, I'm just letting you know everything's okay. I'm like, I had heard they're threatening bombs, and
I don't mean to chuckle. I'm reading comments here. I'm sorry.
She said, yeah, we had a squatting event here today.
Swatting or squatting?
Squatting. And I'm like, someone is living in the school and won't leave?
They have clean restrooms there.
She said, why? What did I say? I said, you said squatting. No, I meant to say swatting, a swatting event, which is somebody, usually the sad part of this is they'll use like from a foreign country, a firewall IP phone number, a phone service where it's almost impossible to trace this. It's all over the call. Looks like it's originating from who knows where in the world.
Yeah.
Now, maybe not. Maybe you got some kid that did this. But I'm also hearing that it might have happened at several schools around the Northeast or even the state. I don't know. They're investigating. We'll know more soon. But claiming there were bombs all over the school property. This, as you might imagine, causes
alarm
and havoc. And you think of the money and resources that have to be used when something like this happens.
By the way, this is the third time this week there's been a swatting incident.
Yeah.
There was 2 over the weekend.
As the sheriff says, what normally happens with these things is when there's one, you can expect copycats. It will happen. But you have to treat it like it's real. I mean, you're talking
Right.
about people's lives here in danger. This, I'm going to not give the name of this teacher just because I don't want them to get in any trouble for sharing what goes on behind the school doors. Not that they would, but just in case. I was there, had a class. Was you could only see out. You could see the roof of the windows. Kids were nervous, knowing it was longer than a drill. At that point, I flipped to some games with their headsets, trying to keep them distracted. They especially got nervous when the hall lights went out, as police dogs with military guns and dogs had to sweep the school. What I would like to say about this, even though my wife is probably mad because I shared the squatting story, I'm trying to think, though, you probably could find, that's an old school, Oxford Road. I imagine you could find a place to live in there, and, in some nook and cranny you could find that nobody goes into, you could live there. They did it at the Providence Mall, that Providence Place Mall. You had these people living there for half a year.
Yeah.
Anyway, parents should be really appreciative of teachers and staff because most of these kids never knew what was going on. Think about it, the entire property is surrounded with military-style weapons, police cars and everything else, and SWAT teams, and especially the younger kids who would really probably be freaked out by this, really did not know what was going on. And so, as my wife said, they kind of thought it was a swatting incident, but you can't treat it that way.
Right.
So it was not. There are a couple of different there's a lockdown where I believe it's called shelter in place. They all have names, and that would mean kids are hiding. The door's locked, shades pulled. Kids hide in a place where if someone looked in, they wouldn't see them. Fear that there's a gunman in the building. This was not that. This was, you can't go in the hallways, you can't exit, you can't leave the room or the building. So she has a shade, she pulls the shade, she pulls the window. No, none of these kids knew what was happening. And isn't that what you want out of your teaching staff? Right?
Absolutely.
So, and I think it was like that in every classroom. And the teacher that piped in here this morning, same deal. Their job is to not worry about their own lives, but to worry about your children. And let's not forget, I mean, how many places have we seen this happen around, even in the area with threats? And then when the threats become real, knowing that you have staff and police and agencies and administration, everybody working together to protect children. Pretty wild. Pretty important.
It's disgusting that, it's disgusting when they do it anywhere. But I mean, even more so.
It is.
If it was at the county building or something, or city hall somewhere, it would be.
And that's terrible. But you're doing it to children. School. Yeah, you're doing it to kids. And, copycat stuff, this has been happening for the last couple of weeks. Pretty bad. Hold tight. We'll come right back. It's Thursday morning. Coming up, Marianne Buttonshaw on WIBX.
Did you know your most treasured rugs can look new again? At ABC ChemDry, we specialize in premium area rug cleaning. From treasured family heirlooms to fine rugs from around the world, our trained specialists use a careful 5-step process, inspecting, dusting, cleaning, drying, grooming, and protecting, so your rug always gets the expert care it deserves. Don't wait. Call ABC ChemDry today at 315-738-1111 to schedule a drop-off or pickup.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Memorial Day sale is on at Mattress Express. Get up to a $1,000 prepaid gas card on select new King and Queen mattress sets. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers. A $500 gas card on massage chairs. Go to mattressexpressny.com.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton. When you've worked hard to build something meaningful, protecting it should be part of your plan. At Hilton Estate and Elder Law, we help families navigate the complexities that come with significant assets, especially estate taxes and long-term care considerations. We break down the implications, explore smart strategies, and help reduce future tax exposure and nursing home costs. Because no two families are alike, every plan is tailored to fit your situation.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
Did you know your most treasured rugs can look new again? At ABC ChemDry, we specialize in premium area rug cleaning. From treasured family heirlooms to fine rugs from around the world, our trained specialists use a careful 5-step process inspecting, dusting, cleaning, drying, grooming, and protecting, so your rug always gets the expert care it deserves. Don't wait. Call ABC ChemDry today at 315-738-1111 to schedule a drop-off or pickup.
The Potting Shed Antiques in Whitesboro is buying silver, gold, gold-filled, vintage costume, estate jewelry, and U.S. and Canadian coins. They've been your hometown buyer for over 50 years. While other gold and silver buyers claim to offer the highest prices, the Potting Shed Antiques actually delivers. Let Don Hartman take a look at your individual pieces or your entire collection. The Potting Shed Antiques, open Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Please call ahead for an appointment. Visit thepottingshedantiques.com.
Registration is officially open for the 2026 Boilermaker Road Race. Get ready for the 49th annual running of this iconic event, Sunday, July 12th. Whether you're chasing a personal best or just soaking up the incredible energy, this is a race day event you don't want to miss. Secure your spot now and be a part of one of the most celebrated road races in the country. Sign up today and get your training underway. Be sure to listen to live coverage of the Boilermaker Road Race Sunday morning, July 12th, beginning at 7 on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Hey, the Encera's Flooring Outlet team has years and years of experience in the flooring business like no other place that has. So if it's flooring you're looking for, why wouldn't you go to the place where you'll find the best prices, the best inventory, and the most knowledge? Let me give you an example. Alan, Jason, and Fran, some of the flooring specialists at Encera's, over 100 years of combined experience. Sam Rudolph, store manager, his entire life, he's been in the home improvement industry. And Sal and Sarah, talk about experience. He knows the flooring business like nobody. All the experience, plus Encera's offers the top name brands and floor covering at unbeatable prices. What it means to you is Encera's you're working with folks that have been in the flooring business for decades. They really know flooring like nobody else. See why more people buy from the big store, Encera's Flooring Outlet, River Road, Marcy, and Encera'sFlooringOutlet.com. Let me do one more, and then Manaski has some comments with a bit of a smirk on his face. The new 2026 Mazda CX-5 has been worth the wait. It is a beauty, an incredible vehicle, contemporary styling, a larger touchscreen display, a luxurious interior, and Mazda's commitment to advanced engineering. It's reliable, safe, fun to drive, and right now, says Ricky Z, you can save on a new Mazda lease or enjoy 2.9% APR financing on a new 2026 Mazda CX-5. See anybody at the dealership for details. It's a great trusted buying experience or leasing experience at Steep Pawnee Mazda, and of course the Steep Pawnee family. Let's make your deal, as Rick says, on a new Mazda where it's always easy to do business. Steep Pawnee Mazda, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Hold on, your mic is live.
Sorry, during that live read, I was smirking because I was hoping you turned my mic on. I wanted to say Riverbed 4, Riverbed 4, Riverbed 4. Okay, 5. John in Deerfield yesterday. This is a comment I did not get to. He said, "There's a Constantino sign up on Trenton Road in Deerfield. First sign I've seen for him in this area. Of course, I don't see many Smullen signs either." Now, that was just tidying up from yesterday. Lance and Lee says, whoa, why not harass the teacher for not calling in and telling their story and texting it in? Goose gander. I don't know what he means, but Lance makes me laugh.
Because my wife, she never calls in, but I trick her into getting on the line, so I didn't do that today.
Jawick is complaining. They only read Lance from Lee's comments in real time, then they cherry pick ours. Now, we have been reading and going through some of the comments on YouTube this morning.
Man, can we do anything right? Holy crap.
Welter Skelter says Fire Station 4 needs help. Why didn't Jesus lend a hand? Of course, that
is the famous firehouse. It's funny, I used that same line when I was talking to a resident in South Utica. I said, I'm surprised Jesus didn't fix this. Same line. We're in the same wavelength on this. That is the firehouse that Chief Brooks stood his ground and said, I'm leaving the happy birthday baby Jesus sign up. You're not going to be able, and there were people from California trying to get him to take it down, the whole 9 yards.
Deeds says he jumped the border boys. What do you call that? And again, we're not disputing that, Deeds.
Listen to yourself for just a minute and look at the story for just a minute. If you can't see this story for what it is, then I feel bad for you.
Let's see.
Not really. I don't feel bad. I just said that. It's a phrase.
Let's see. Somebody was claiming you were in a bad mood and then someone corrected themselves to say, no, he's not in a bad mood. When he's in a bad mood, he goes on rants. And he's not ranting
No rants
today.
here. No rants here.
Deeds dropping an F-bomb. I'm going to skip that one. Let's see. If you have a super horse.
Pond 5.
You do, and you don't have to rest it. Bill, you're still. We already covered that one. Yeah, I guess we're all caught up here.
I'm checking to see if I have any here, and then we're moving on.
Mr. Nice Guy, I'm trying to get my hands on the
my wife is piping in here this morning.
Mr. Nice Guy, I'm trying to get my hands on the 4.5-hour interrogation where the police come at him every way they can to get this man to give them something on the supervisor. I did watch part of that. There is a local media outlet that has posted audio and segments of that interrogation. It is an interesting watch. In there, the gentleman essentially says he was at Sylvan Beach at the time, maybe on vacation, when this alleged misreporting of hours occurred. And they're telling him, hey, this is a bad thing. This is not a good thing. It's a big deal. And they talked to him about maybe wearing a wire to get
There's a
former
the
supervisor
video that
was
is
shown
out,
on tape.
The interrogation is out and being circulated. So they're clearly trying to get him, this immigrant, sorry, Deeds, this Mexican construction guy, to dish dirt on Michonne. And during this interrogation, they're clearly trying to do that. So that's being circulated, and this is turning into a whole mess. But it will be very interesting to see what happens in tomorrow's court appearance. Okay?
Yes.
Let me go to somebody right now on the line right now. The great Marianne Buttonshaw, Assemblywoman. Good morning, Marianne. Good morning.
Good morning.
Is that what did you change the plaque on your door? It says Marianne the Great?
Marianne the Great.
Well, I'll have to stop by and see if that's what's been done. So
yeah, we actually had it installed. Couldn't find a place to put it, so we put it in the Baseball Hall of Fame. You're right up there with all of them, plaques. Right next to Wee Willie Keeler. I don't know if you know that, but it's a beautiful plaque. I don't know if you even play baseball, but just letting you know. Okay. All right. Well, listen, how I'm hearing, and you tell me if this has any validity to it, that maybe next week we'll be seeing a vote on the budget.
I believe that what you're hearing is sounding optimistic.
So
that's a good thing. So clearly we're in conference. But can I just start with thanking our teachers and the administration, as you stated.
Yeah.
These are serious situations, and to ensure that students feel that clearly education can continue without a hiccup is commendable, because I am sure that all the teachers were concerned, but to just show their leadership to say, my job is to make sure that the students not only are learning, but their roles come on with so many others, and that is one to. If I can, I have to thank them all.
If I can give you one quote from my wife, because this thing they were on lockdown or whichever phase of this, where they cannot leave the classroom, lock the door, pull the shades, cannot leave the classroom, and she said, "Do you know what it's like to convince?" For 90 minutes, second graders, they don't have to go to the bathroom yet, because that was she said that was the biggest problem. They don't have a bathroom in the room. So the kindergartners, I think, do the very younger kids, but as you move up, they don't have bathrooms in the classroom. So all these kids had to go to the bathroom. They could not leave the room. But it's about their safety, So.
But I think and very importantly, is how does she convince them not to get upset through that? And that's
right. Yeah.
That's serious. So I thought of that when you said that initially. When I've gone to read in classrooms and a child says I have to use the facilities, and the teacher, can you wait a minute? We're in the and there's some of them you can tell they can't wait.
Yeah.
So I mean it's very commendable because it shouldn't happen, but when it happens, they're not only educators but they take on so many other roles.
Yeah,
and
you're
I think
absolutely right. And I appreciate that, but I do want to add though that my wife has really learned how to accomplish that goal of keeping everyone calm by taking care of me. Like, what do you mean there's no butter? I was just going to have a... Sorry. Sorry.
So you're the practice area.
I'm the part of the training program. All right, so back to Jeff's question.
Well, I wanted to ask about the budget. There's a couple of things specifically I'd like to get into. Maybe you can explain. Do you think there's some talk of utility rebate checks for taxpayers in New York, or maybe all New Yorkers? What can you tell us about these purported utility rebate checks for the higher fees we're paying for energy in New York, and will they actually be part of the budget?
There is discussions regarding those rebate checks. The concern is to make sure that they would be something that you would deem helpful as you're paying your bills. So,
and significant, right? We're not talking $50, are we?
Well, Jeff, that's why we're in discussions.
Okay.
And so it's clearly, to me, it's frustrating because if we're going to do it, as you stated, it has to be something that is going to have merit for you to be able to say, oh, this was significant enough to help me. But to look at a check and look at the processing of a check, and when this has been done in the past, individuals didn't get a check, and where is the check? Is it lost? So there's a lot that goes into that. So I'm really not always, shall we say, in support of that.
Yeah.
For those two reasons. Do they have any merit?
I mean, during COVID, when they were dishing out checks that were in the thousands, that had a significant effect. But if you're going to get a $200, $300, $400 check, what's that really? I guess it can help offset, but why not just find a way to lower the prices altogether?
Right. I think it's more about sustainability.
Yeah.
So on one check, I'm not sure what you're going to do with it versus understanding, as you stated, now I can plan on my utility cost going down at a certain point and sustainability.
Yeah, essentially it would be more beneficial, I think, for everybody, maybe except for National Grid or the other providers, if we said, let's hold the line on these rate increases instead of retroactively trying to reimburse people for the pain that they're really, especially when we get these cold winters. Some people were paying $400 that, their rent is only $800, $900, and they're paying another $400 on top of it for utility. So I hear what you're saying.
But don't you think it's so ridiculous that it's the commission that is appointed by the governor? It was approved. The rate increases were approved, and now we're sitting and arguing over maybe we need to give rebates back to the people. I just find it so ridiculous. That's just me. And I feel like you feel the same way on that.
Yeah, it's just chasing your tail. I mean, it's not moving anywhere in the way it should be. So that is, there is legislation that has been brought forward that talks about the importance of before any rate increase goes forward, does it have to go through legislation? Does it have to have a vetting system that looks at why? Do we look at what their, shall we say, revenues are in comparison to what they're actually asking and each one of those pieces of legislation, some agree with, some don't agree with. But I know that if it becomes within the legislative process, it's definitely going to slow it down. Whether it's the right way, but it's the slow way.
And I don't know that you know the answer to this, but I would like to ask anyway. I'm looking at my National Grid bill right now, which is down this month. It should be. We don't have the heat running like we did. And I'm seeing the issue the other day came up about taxes. Taxes on your National Grid bill.
And a tariff fee, right?
So the taxes really there are all of these little fees here and there that in some cases go to the state, maybe to support nuclear programs or whatever. But then there is the tariff surcharge, which is not a large charge, but I imagine when it goes through everyone, I think ours was about $6 between gas and electric. It's 2.04082% is the tariff surcharge. So what is that, Marianne? Do you know what that is?
I do not, but I can look into it and I'll be sure to get back to you.
And I'm wondering why it's called tariff surcharge. Yeah. So that is on the bill. Somebody called in about that the other day.
As we were speaking,
sorry, we're in the weeds here on this stuff.
As we were speaking here, I've gotten 2 text messages from people asking if there were to be rebate checks issued, would they be taxable? Is that part of the conversation?
It is part of the conversation. Yep, it truly is, and that's one of the discussions because again, you receive a check and now you're taxed on it. Wonder, not that anyone would refuse it, but maybe someone would.
Yeah.
And so then what do we do?
And I wanted to ask, are we done with this? I wanted to ask because we got a couple of minutes left. One of the sticking issues has been auto insurance and the fraud that is seems to be evident, and what insurance companies are blaming on the high costs of auto insurance in New York State. In fact, we're on average about $2,000 higher for auto insurance than the rest of the country. So I know that's been a sticking point with the budget. Where do you stand, and has there been any accomplishment here?
There has been discussions moving forward very quickly, but my question is to hear from the actual insurance companies. If this legislation moves forward, what type of discount will their customers receive? And I can't get that answer yet. So I can't look at this as a positive means moving forward. I do not support staged accidents. I do not think fraud should be acceptable, but I don't see this as the avenue to be able to move forward in a means to stop the fraud. It's putting caps on accidents if someone is involved in an accident, and I think we all have known individuals that this could go on for years, and someone that needs medical assistance, we want to make sure they have it, but most definitely to tolerate fraud.
It's interesting. I talked to Senator Griffo about that, and he said we got to be really careful with this because what they're really trying, you have the insurance lobby here as well, and they're trying to limit what ends up being paid out. So you have somebody who gets injured and only half of their medical bills are going to be paid, legitimately injured, because they're being punished over the fact that there's all of this fraud, and we have to limit everyone's payout. So I think you're right. This got to be handled very, very carefully.
And more, one of the other negative aspects is we would see more of these cases going into court, where they used to be a 50-50 settle. If now we say one's 51 and 149% liable, it just, can the courts, is that going to be another bottleneck for an individual to be able to, as you said, the care that someone might need is got to be determined by a medical doctor.
Yeah. And by the way, you're paying for it. You're, for the most part, people have auto insurance to pay for it. Okay. Your prediction Will there be a vote next week?
I am highly optimistic that we should start voting next week, as I feel that we're moving in the right direction.
Okay.
We've been conferencing every night, so
all right.
Not that 100% agreement, but still having those discussions.
All right. Okay.
Just one more quick bailout of New York City. Is New York City getting money to fix it?
Now the mayor's saying he's balanced the budget.
Well, I'm wondering if they said, listen, whatever we come to, you're going to get X amount of dollars, so he can come out and proclaim that before it's official.
What happens there, Marianne?
Well, there is that is one of the strong sticking points, is to ensure if New York City is saying they need assistance, well, we need it upstate too.
Yeah,
and the importance of looking at what our deficits are and the support that's there. I know the governor has brought out different statements that she is putting forward funding to New York City. I'm not sure we're at a final point of what we would agree with that in the assembly.
All right. And listen, school aid, the budget votes are coming up, and the schools still have no idea what they're going to be looking at. So something's got to be done, or a lot of schools are going to be in financial trouble real soon. So, Marianne, yes, go ahead.
The big push of the 2% that they've requested.
Yep.
And I will stand strong with that.
All right. Assemblywoman Marianne Buttonshawn, thank you so much. We appreciate it, and we'll do it again.
Thank you.
Good luck.
All right.
Okay. All right. Thanks. And quickly, I want to take Steve Hauk, who has a related comment. You had an issue with National Grid just yesterday.
I did, and before I get into that, if I could, the New York Post reported yesterday that in the new budget, the governor wants to give New York City an additional $4 billion. Just so you know that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
that's why he's saying he's balanced the budget. Okay, National Grid.
So I currently have a hybrid, and I'm ready for a new car, considering a full EV. So one of the things I wanted to do in order to, calculate my costs was figure out what I'm paying per kilowatt to charge it, because I'm going to be charging a lot more. So I called National Grid, and I spoke with them yesterday, and I after some calculation on their part, this month, or my last bill, I paid 7 cents a kilowatt hour, which seems pretty reasonable to me. I asked them to look at my last year and what I paid on the high end and on the low end. The 7 cents was the low end, but in the middle of the winter, which apparently is when the rates are the highest, it went all the way up to 18 cents a kilowatt.
Wow.
So that's a huge difference, which I actually thought it would be the summertime, with the air conditioning and everything else running.
Yeah.
But you think about the cost, 7 cents to 18 cents is a huge gap.
Yeah,
so
it is.
It's not consistent across the board. And I asked them that, and they said, no, it changes. It actually changes even within the month. So it's up and down depending on with usage. So
I found that my hybrid we saw almost no difference in our bill, and I charge it every day.
I find that interesting. Go ahead.
I calculated it out, and based on what the window sticker says, and the mileage I drive, it would average to about $70 to $80 a month to charge it.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly a savings.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Certainly right now is a savings.
I wonder, Bill, if there's something that you're no longer charging or using, because, for instance, I know with my dehumidifier in the basement, and it's an older model one, it's from like the late 90s, and I should knock on wood here that it's still working, and they don't make things like they used to. But I know I've calculated it before, because I only run it really in the summer, because in the winter it's cold, dry air. It's not as damp in my basement. Yeah. And it's about $35 a month for me to run my dehumidifier 24/7 every day in the summer months, because I've turned it off for a month and kind of,
and it goes down.
Yeah, so I would be surprised if you're charging a vehicle every night and it's not having any impact.
All I can tell you is when we bought the hybrid, I plugged it in. It was plugged in every day, and we saw almost no difference in the bill. Now, there's a lot of fluctuating of the bills going on.
Yeah,
I didn't dig deep. All I can tell you is
it hasn't been noticeable.
It has not been noticeable for us. So that's where we are. And I got to tell you, as gas prices are $4 something a gallon right now, boy, I probably put gas in my car maybe a month ago. and I have a quarter of a tank. My trips back and forth to work, I don't even use gas. So now, when it's colder, and this is where it's got to be an issue for these buses as they're proposed. Steve, I'm sure you see the same thing. When it doesn't have to be below 0 or 20 degrees. When it's 43 degrees, like it has been the last week or so, it probably reduces the efficiency of the battery by, let's just say it probably reduces the miles I can drive by around 6 or 7 miles.
There's no doubt about it.
And that's 40 degrees. That's not, I mean, winter weather, I don't save as much in the wintertime.
And I mean, I park mine in the garage, so I don't know if you do, but I mean, the garage doesn't get much colder than like 40, 45, even in the wintertime.
Yeah.
But as soon as you're outside, or if I'm working and it's outside all day and I get in it, I go about 3 miles and that's it. I'm done.
Yeah, I get all the way here and I make it, but I can't make it home. Whereas in the summertime, I can go here, home, and I've still got a quarter of a tank, if you will, on the battery. So pretty wild. All right, Steve, interesting stuff. Thank you.
Pleasure.
You know what you got to do is buy one of those Chinese EVs. They're only $15,000 and they're competitive to the Elon Musk vehicle. Although they're not available.
And they're full of microphones to listen in on your conversations.
Yeah, that might be true too. Well. And they're not available in the United States. So okay. All right, Steve. Thank you. All right, Hobike's free money question of the day, Dave. We're going to squeeze it in. You're looking at how much money today. You got a smile on your face all day today. You've had your breakfast pizza. You are in top form.
No.
Okay. What are we looking at?
$300.
$300. And we'll go with caller number 5. $300 right now on the line from the Hobike Law Firm. Caller number 5 right now with 315-736-0186.
Hurt in a car, call William Attar. 315-444-4444.
Blues fans, get ready to hit the road. The New York State Blues Fest is back this June, bringing the soul, grit, and groove to the New York State Fairgrounds in Syracuse. Featuring Grammy-winning powerhouse Gary Clark Jr., plus a full lineup of world-class blues, rock, and roots artists. It's free, outdoors, and one of the biggest blues festivals in the Northeast. Make it a weekend. RV spots are still available. The New York State Blues Fest. Learn more at nysbluesfest.com.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. And online at tallmanstire.com.
It all began in 1985 with a single goal. A commitment to brighten our community. And with your kindness, that light grew brighter. Because for 40 years, you've helped Food Bank of Central New York deliver healthy food and hope. But that need continues to grow. So this year, please consider giving a little extra and make sure the light we shine together never goes out.
There's never been a better time to buy the commercial mower that has your back. Ferris. For a limited time, your Ferris dealer, Clinton Tractor, has the best financing offers of the year. Choose the offer that works best for you, 36 or 60 months. There are even options to skip payments when work is slow. It's never been easier to buy a Ferris. So visit Clinton Tractor today on Meadow Street in Clinton. Ferris. Experience suspension. All loans subject to credit approval.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-885-3333. That's 800-885-3333.
You're great at protecting your data, but lots of places could still expose you to identity theft.
I thought it was safe.
If that happens, LifeLock gives you a U.S.-based restoration agent who will stick by your side from start to finish. Phone calls, filing documentation, preparing insurance claims, your agent handles it all. In fact, we're so confident restoration is guaranteed or your money back. Isn't it nice to have someone like that on your side? Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Start your savings at Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair. Now through May 31st, get up to $180 back on a Bridgestone prepaid MasterCard. Get $80 back when you buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires. Get an additional $100 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your CFNA credit card. Don't wait. These offers end May 31st. Visit Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, or online at tallmanstire.com. Little Falls Lumber has everything you need for home improvement season. They're fully stocked with secondary grade metal in all colors, available in 12-foot lengths and affordable solutions for sheds, garages, and roof repairs. Tired of digging through warped boards at the big box stores? At Little Falls Lumber, you'll find only premium grade lumber, hand-selected for quality. They also carry roofing, siding, windows, doors, and much more. Visit Little Falls Lumber in Little Falls in Syracuse. Call 315-823-2470 or go to littlefallslumber.com. Did you know your most treasured rugs can look new again? At ABC Chem Dry, we specialize in premium area rug cleaning. From treasured family heirlooms to fine rugs from around the world, our trained specialists use a careful 5-step process inspecting, dusting, cleaning, drying, grooming, and protecting, so your rug always gets the expert care it deserves. Don't wait. Call ABC Chem Dry today at 315-738-1111 to schedule a drop-off or pickup.
Celebrating 100 years.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, listen, I'm going to squeeze in Hobica's free money question of the day this morning. And it is worth a whopping $300. Plus, we have a chance for the winner, and I believe it's more than a chance. Each contestant will receive an oil change, $99 value from Jackson Auto Outlet and Taylor's Trailers. They offer automobiles, ATVs, trailers all in one place, and the DMV on site. This is an oil change up to 7 quarts, and you can visit them at 7113 East Dominic Street in Rome. Hobica's free money question of the day for all your legal needs. Call the Hobica Law Firm at 315-724-1600. Joseph and Andrew Hobica. Sean is in Rome, ready to take a shot at $300 this morning. Hi, Sean. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. How are you? Good morning, Jeff.
You know how the deal works. You'll have 7 seconds to get your answer in there. Are you ready?
I am.
All right. Here is your question: which planet in the Milky Way is the hottest? Ready? Go.
Mercury.
Is Mercury the hottest? It is Venus. At least you had only so many answers you could come up with. Mercury is probably a good answer. Okay, we will give you. It's coming in hot. We will give you the oil change from Jackson Auto Outlet and Taylor's Trailers. They're on East Dominic Street in Rome. You stand by. Sean Davies going to hook you up.
Hey, Bill, I just want to mention something if I got a minute here.
Sure.
I sell cars here in Rome at James Mitsubishi, and we have our hybrid. And I was talking to one of my customers yesterday who bought a hybrid from us, the Outlander FEV.
Yeah.
And he's got an app that goes on his phone called Charge New York, and it'll actually tell you every day how much it costs you to charge your vehicle. And then there's some stuff on there that'll give you like rebates and money back, and if you want to put a charger at your home, you'll get credits. A lot of good things about that.
That's really
and,
it's what
he
is
loves
it?
His FEV.
It's Charge New York.
Charge New York. Yep, it's an app that goes on your phone, and he absolutely loves his FEV. It's actually the judge from Verona.
Okay.
And he actually took it down to Florida and said he drove well, got 32 miles at a gallon, 46 on a full charge, and great vehicle. But that Charge New York's a neat app.
Yeah, I will go to that and check that out today, and I love mine as well. Again, trips back and forth to work. I don't even use gasoline, so it's huge savings. All right, Sean, good stuff. You stand by, and I'm not sure you need the oil change, but you're going to get it. Take it, all right?
Hey, I like it, Bill. You guys have a great rest of your day.
You do the same. Stand by. Davey, Sean in Rome, he is all yours. In studio right now is Councilman Joe Beatrice. And then, Joe, I'm going to let you do the introductions in a second. However, I want to ask you about the South Utica firehouse. Tight on that mic.
Yes.
If you could.
To be honest with you, I haven't really talked to anybody about it. I know
I know there's always been an issue there. The only thing I did see that it was more of a safety precaution, and I'm sure once we get any estimates and anything, the council will get together and work with the administration and do whatever we have to do to make it safe and get it back. I think that firehouse there, the same thing, the one on Whitesboro Street, are very, very old buildings. And
we've been here for a long time.
They've been there. Actually, I think both of them actually were in the days when they used horses to drag the.
Wow.
And
So,
I know there's a cellar underneath that building. I really don't want to speak because I don't really know enough about it.
All right.
But I know it's more of a safety issue, and we'll take care of it once it's done.
I just thought of this now that you mentioned it. I was down there. The Utica Council did a tour a couple years ago.
Tour it.
Yeah, and I was actually down there.
You were with us. I was with you.
Yes, and they were expressing some concerns structurally. I couldn't explain what that was, but I know this has been an ongoing issue, and apparently it's reached a point they need to address it. Yeah.
So,
yeah. All right. All right. You're doing something unique here, and I like this. You're going into your district and celebrating something. But go ahead.
Yes. Well, so it'll be, and I'll let Bo speak to this. And Bo, say your name properly because I can never say the last. This is Bodan Rabarski. Okay. And Bo runs the North Utica Neighborhood Meeting. Does a great job with it. And so we are on Saturday will be the 110th anniversary that North Utica became. We took it from Deerfield, and I'll let him explain that more. The only thing I will say is I want to welcome everybody to come to the event at the North Utica Center on Saturday at 1 to 3. We're going to have food and entertainment and stuff, and just come there. And
all right, Bo, what do you? This is a big deal.
It is.
Yeah. Talk about the history, could you?
Well, it was back in 1916. Utica decided to annex 4,100 acres of land from Deerfield. Deerfield needed to do some work on the bridges over the Erie Canal and the Mohawk River, and they didn't have the money, the funds to replace the bridges. And one of the reasons why they decided to do it was if Utica annexed the land, they would fix the bridges and replace them.
And interestingly, if you know North Utica is a very proud community. And it's funny, if you really look at the history, it's because it was its own community.
Right.
That's really interesting, and I didn't know that.
A lot of people consider themselves, when you ask where you live, they'll tell you, I live over the bridge.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to come over the bridge back in
the day.
They don't want to come over the bridge.
Or if you ask them where do you live, they'll say I live in North Utica. They don't say I live in Utica.
Right. Yeah.
And
yep.
So, anyways, back in 2016, when Samantha Clausen-Motesta was a North Utica representative, they celebrated the 100th anniversary, and then I had Howard Bushinger's books on. He has 2 books out on North Utica.
Yeah.
And I was looking through them, and I saw that they celebrated the 100th anniversary back then. I said, well, it'd be a good time this year to celebrate the 110th anniversary. Plus, it's got the 250th anniversary of America.
Right.
You had the opening of Harbor Point. So
makes all the sense in the world.
Right. So we decided to put together a 110th anniversary. And I had contacted Brad Velarde, and he put out this May edition of the Greater Utica magazine, and put a nice 10-page spread in there for the 110th anniversary. And Howard Bushinger got together with Brad Velarde, and they put together a nice calendar.
That's awesome.
18-month calendar that we're selling for $25 for the 110th anniversary of that.
And where does that money go? Where do you?
Well, it's basically we're only selling. We're making
paying for
a
that.
dollar.
Yeah.
We're making $1 on it. And it's just going.
Talk about some of the things that are going on. It's this weekend, Saturday.
Saturday, 1 o'clock.
Right, we're having the mayor's office coming down and do a proclamation on it. We got Marion Bunshon and Senator Griffel coming down and do proclamations on it, and we've invited the public.
Yeah,
come
nice.
Invited all my fellow council people.
All the council people.
All of them, Joe?
Invited all of
everybody.
them.
He's teasing.
And actually,
he loves to tease me.
Deerfield officials, we also invited because we took the land from them.
That's really cool.
Is there an event? I mean, there's a proclamation. You mentioned that, but is there like food and drink ride?
Yes.
Like
Right. A lot of the businesses have donated food and beverages and stuff.
But what's going on Saturday? What would the general public come down for?
Well, they would come down to see hear the proclamations, and they'd come down to basically
party. It's gonna be a party.
socialize.
It's a
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah,
We got you. I got you.
Will,
You guys are more than welcome to come too.
Let me just ask you, Bo, and I need an honest answer. Will you allow the East Uticans to come in?
Absolutely.
You're sure?
I'll be there then.
Right.
We all migrated from East Utica.
Right.
Most of us.
It's all second generation living in North Utica.
So believe me, the East Uticans of yesteryear moved to North Utica or New Hartford.
That's right.
Yes, that's so funny.
So they're definitely allowing there.
Yeah.
So after all these years, we become one.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. All right.
I just
kind of.
I just want to mention, you guys highlighted Brad Velarde, the Greater Utica Magazine, North Utica, 110 years and 5 more enthralling articles. I've only had a chance to look at the photos. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but really some throwbacks to what North Utica was like. What is it, 60s, 70s?
That's when I was born in 61 in East Utica, and my dad built the house on Willow Drive in 1963. So I came right over.
Right
it used to
from.
be the Black Bridge in North Utica.
1 o'clock on Saturday. Where again?
North Utica
Community Center, Riverside Drive.
Thank you, and happy birthday. Quick break. We have news coming right up.
WIBX Utica Road, W295 Utica.
From the WB Payne Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
We must make our relationship work and not mess it up. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what China's leader said at a state banquet with President Trump.
Achieving the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation and making America great again can go hand in hand.
Then Xi Jinping offered a toast to prosperity. The president used the same word in his toast.
Together we have the chance to draw on these values to create a future of greater prosperity, cooperation, and happiness.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich reports from Beijing.
That followed a meeting between them where they discussed ways to expand market access, cooperation between the two countries. The Strait of Hormuz, the Iran war, Taiwan all came up, but they were not addressed in the remarks at the state banquet. The statement, though, from the White House on the topic of Iran gave us a little bit more background on maybe the more tense topics behind closed doors. It said the two sides agreed that the Strait of Hormuz must remain open to support the free flow of energy.
And as Fox's Trey Yingst reports from Tel Aviv, that's a big deal.
The Chinese are the largest importer of Iranian crude oil in the world. And when we look at Iranian military action in the Strait of Hormuz and the country's nuclear program, these are both directly funded by those oil exports. Reports this morning indicate Iran has seized another vessel off the coast of the UAE. Secretary of State Marco Rubio told Fox's Sean Hannity that the Chinese should play a more active role in getting Iran to change course.
Countries of the world economies are melting down because of this crisis in the Straits. They're going to be buying less Chinese product.
The day after South Carolina's Supreme Court threw out Alec Murdaugh's convictions and life sentence in the killings of his wife and son in 2021 over court clerk's misconduct. State Attorney General Alan Wilson just told Fox they will retry him and...
Well, first off, I want people to understand that our office secured convictions on financial crimes that will keep Alex Murdaugh in prison for several more decades. So he's not going anywhere.
America's listening to Fox News.
You know, protecting your home should not be a headache. Many security companies, they lock you into these multi-year contracts. No, Simply Safe Home Security, they do things differently. With Simply Safe, you get award-winning 24/7 professional monitoring around $1 a day without any long-term commitment. Simply Safe, they just want to earn your trust every day by doing a great job. Right now, you'll get 50% off your custom system by going to simplysafe.com/Hannity. Half off when you go to simplysafe.com/Hannity. And remember, there's no safe like Simply Safe.
When disasters hit and cell networks fail, Rapid Radios keeps you connected. Instant push-to-talk with coast-to-coast range. No contracts, no monthly bills. Trusted by law enforcement, government agencies, and over 500,000 users. Always ready when your phone isn't. Because in an emergency, seconds matter, and reliability isn't optional. Go to rapidradios.com. Use code RADIO for 5% off and free shipping from Michigan. Rapid Radios. Communication redefined.
Well, they have found the second American soldier who went missing in Morocco, dead.
The body of 19-year-old Army Specialist Mariah Simone Collington has been recovered more than a week after she and a fellow soldier went missing in Morocco while taking part in a multinational military exercise. The body of First Lieutenant Kendrick Lamont Key Jr. was recovered earlier this week. Collington was an air and missile defense crew member from Tavares, Florida, who began her active duty service in 2024. Both soldiers are believed to have fallen off a cliff during a recreational hike in their off-duty hours. An investigation continues into what led to the tragedy. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
We mentioned Iran and the U.S.-China talks. Oil prices down about 0.5% today. WTI remains about $100 a barrel. Gas, though, up 2 more cents. AAA's national average for regular $4.53 per gallon. On Wall Street, stocks may surge. Dow futures up more than 300 points the morning after record highs for the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. There was playoff overtime last night in basketball and hockey. In the NBA, Cleveland beat Detroit 117-113 to take a 3-2 series lead. On the ice, it was even more dramatic.
Here's McKinnon shooting it. He scores! He scores! The Avalanche tie the game at 3.
On TNT Sports, the Avalanche came back from 3-0 down to force overtime. Where 3:52 went to sudden death, Brett Kulak scored for Colorado. The Avalanche beat the Wild 4-3 and won the series 4-1. Colorado went to the Western Conference Finals. The Avs will face either Vegas or Anaheim. The Golden Knights lead the Ducks 3-2. Vegas can win the series tonight.
That's Fox's Jared Max. Golf's second major tournament of the year is underway. The PGA Championship at Aronimink outside Philadelphia. Rory McIlroy tees off this hour. Scotty Scheffler plays this afternoon. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
We have cloudy skies, 46 degrees. Good morning. I'm Jeff Manaski. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. This news update is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. The final defendant in the beating death of Midstate Correctional Facility inmate Messiah Nantwi is pleading guilty. Yesterday, former corrections officer Thomas Eck pleaded guilty to omitting certain details in the paperwork he filed after Nantwi's death last year. Eck was supposed to go on trial for multiple crimes, including manslaughter and evidence tampering. He originally rejected a plea offer that would have put him behind bars for 12 years. Under this agreement, he'll serve 1 year in jail. Out of an abundance of caution, Fire Station 4 in the city of Utica at the corner of Shepherd Place and Sunset Ave is being temporarily closed as the city evaluates structural concerns involving the apparatus bay floor. The Utica Fire Department has proactively relocated fire apparatus and personnel assigned to Station 4 to the Park Avenue Fire Station to ensure uninterrupted emergency response coverage. At this time, officials anticipate minimal impact to that emergency response coverage and capability. The department will continue to monitor operational coverage closely through the evaluation process. A local dentist facing felony charges on allegations that he was prescribing prescription drugs to those who were not active patients of his. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office, the Bureau of Narcotic Enforcement, and the State Health Department launched an investigation into dentist Lawrence Marks of New Hartford. Earlier this week, investigators and the DEA charged Marks with 2 counts of criminal sale of a prescription for a controlled substance by a practitioner. Both are Class C felonies, and an additional charge of falsifying business records in the first degree, a Class C felony. And in the city of Rome, the DOT is advising drivers that a portion of Fish Hatchery Road will be closed until December. The closure starts on Monday. It'll be between State Route 46 and Williams Road. There are detours in place, or will be detours in place, on 46, Potter Road, Turin Road, Williams Road, and Fish Hatchery Road. Right now, cloudy skies, 44 degrees at 8:07.
After a pretty damp Wednesday morning, now we're looking at more spotty showers and even a thunder shower in today's forecast, but not much as the low kind of slows down and spins to our northeast. Partial sunshine in between at about 60 degrees. I think more hours of dry than wet today. Maybe a shower tonight, 45. North country a little cooler. Some afternoon showers tomorrow, 65. Chance of showers, but up near 80 on Saturday. Mostly sunny Sunday. Better day of the weekend, up near 80. I'm meteorologist Ray Stidgick at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, cloudy and 45 at 8:08. All right, real quick in sports. Mets won a walk-off yesterday 3-2. The Yankees were shut out by the Orioles 7-0. Subway Series coming up this weekend. Hockey playoffs tonight. The Buffalo Sabres are in action. That series tied at 2 games apiece. And I think that's it. That's all we need to get to.
All right, in studio is this morning Bo and Joe and Bo, talking about North Utica and the centennial celebration. This is the 110th celebration this year. And I know that Manaski had a few additional questions.
I'll just mention the celebration for North Utica Saturday
1
at
p.m.
1 p.m. So, Joe, while we got you in here, I just wanted to ask you, there was the conversation going on about bathrooms, and I understand both sides. Can you kind of recap what the council did? And I guess my question for you is, was it necessary? Because the council did pass legislation, right, to keep the bathrooms open so many hours a day?
The bathrooms are from Memorial Day to Labor Day, and other times were always open anyways.
But not 24/7, right?
And they're not going to be open 24/7 now either.
Right.
So the only thing that came out of it, and like I said, everybody would like the bathrooms to be open in a perfect world. Unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world. The majority voted, and to me, you did not need any legislation because they're already open. You had the Recreation Commissioner, Chet LeConte, said that there's events for the next 2 or 3 months in the park there, and he could have somebody close them and monitor them while it's open. So that was already said and done. Everybody, all the department heads from DPW.
There will be a monitor there.
Well, not a monitor. There's a person that opens and closes the park.
Okay,
so
there's not going to be somebody standing at the bathroom.
No,
Okay.
not at all. And I mean, to me, they had a meeting, and there was no police. There was no DPW. They've contacted over and over and said they were not really in favor of this idea of doing this extended hours, but they voted on to do it. To me, there was no need to do it. To me, you're already open. You have somebody willing to give you extended hours. Go to the administration and work with them. And there was no need to pass any of this. But there's reasons why everything is done. It's done, and let's see what happens.
Chet's a great guy, by the way. You were
Great
saying
guy.
he was offering to extend
Well,
hours?
he handles the parks there, and he's got his guy there. And, yes, he said that he would do that. So
Is there an additional cost for the extended hours?
No, because his guys
Already there.
there doing the soccer and whatever they do.
So it's only when there are events going on.
So like I'll give you 2 examples. They're always open. So I'm the softball assigner for the Utica area. I went and watched a game at Wonko last week. Notre Dame plays there. Okay, the bathroom's open. To be honest with you, I went into the bathroom. I was kind of impressed that from the times I played softball and stuff, they're actually redone. They're nice there. When you go to West Utica at Addison Miller for Little League, the bathrooms are open. When you go to the new pavilion on Proctor Park, if you want to have a party or an event there, the bathroom's open. Is it open 24/7? No, they're not. I mean, so we're going to see what's going to happen. Hopefully, it works out good for everybody, and we go with it. But to me, I wasn't voting on a piece of legislation when there was nobody there telling me the plan, even though, like Chet says, we're going to do it. They didn't tell me, okay, the set hours. He wasn't there to say what we're going to do. Councilman Irving's company, the company he works for, they have guys at the city, they do like cut grass and they do stuff. He said they could work extended hours, but I didn't see a set plan and who's paying for any of that. So, and I think it's on the books in the charter that they're already open. And I didn't think I voted. I'm glad it's there, but I didn't vote for it because there's no plan. I don't know what they're going to do.
Hangover at the harbor, or what are they calling it? The 4th of July at the harbor.
Yeah,
sorry.
that is, it's in my district. I'm all for it. I'm not going to comment on any of that until I see the final plans come out from the mayor and stuff like that. The only thing I could tell you, the only thing I will say about that, I hear all this about parking. Well, when they had it at the Parkway was blocked off. When they have it at Proctor Park, Culver Ave is blocked off. Okay,
well, you won't be able to block off Genesee Street.
No, you're not gonna. But what I'm trying to say is they shuttled people in from MVCC. They you know.
You could shuttle from the Odd.
Right. North Utica is more centrally located.
Yeah.
It's an honor to have it here. We have the mayor who's the CEO of the city. If he thinks it's a good idea to do it, let him do it. The worst thing that can happen is it doesn't work and you bring it back someplace next year.
Yeah.
You got a brand new, beautiful facility that can be maintained. It's more secured area. So let's see what happens.
Do they have bathrooms? Do they have bathrooms there?
No, no, because
they're going to put
I'm sure they'll
porta-johns
have.
in?
Yes, I'm sure they will. I mean, we had.
I'm not being.
No, I know.
That was what I thought of. You're going to have all these
and
people.
we had two huge events there last year that went off without a glitch. So, you know, I welcome it. And as a councilman there, I hear it constantly. We got the harbor. What are we going to do with it?
Yeah.
Are we going to do it? So let's try it. Okay.
All right.
Can I do one more shot spotter? You're for it or against it? This technology where they put in the neighborhoods and they. Because some council members raise privacy concerns.
Right. So again, I listen to the way I learn stuff. The nuns from the school taught me a long time ago. If you don't know the information, find out. Ask where to get it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Back in those days, I used to sit next to the smart girl. That's where I got the information.
That's where you got the information.
But now, if I listen to
he sits next to Katie Aiello in the Sam. Is it Sam?
Well, I would listen to Sam. Yeah, Sam kind of knows what's going on.
Okay.
But anyways, the police are for it. They gave you Lieutenant Curley came in, told us all the details on it. So I listened to them. You know, am I for it? Yeah. Look at it. Look what it's done. I mean, it's a different company now, but look at how the shots fired. What did he came to our meeting and told us. I mean, it's down big time numbers where, you know, they're able to solve stuff.
And I think what they said was like 80% of the shots fired incidents don't get reported by the public. It might have been even 90%, but it was a very high percentage.
Yeah,
but I do think we'll talk about the snow.
So I came in for North Utica. You got me on.
I do see that.
I came in for a celebration. You got me on everything.
Of course
we just want to touch base on some issues.
All right, Bo, thank you.
Thank you,
You're very
Bo.
welcome.
All right, good luck this
Saturday,
weekend.
1 o'clock, by the way.
Quick break, 8:15 WIBX.
Central New York homeowners have been trusting NGEM's Flooring America since 1917. Discover the beauty of 12 Oaks waterproof luxury vinyl flooring. Choose from a wide range of stunning colors and styles that look just like real hardwood. Why settle for whatever a big box store has in stock? We can often have your 12 Oaks floor ready in as little as 1 day. Plus, qualified buyers can enjoy 12 months with no interest financing. NGEM's Flooring America. Local flooring experts for over 100 years.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
Hurt in a car? Call William Attar, 315-444-4444.
The Memorial Day sale is on at Mattress Express, upstate New York's largest specialty bedding retailer. Remember, no one has all the brands under one roof, and we're giving away prepaid gas cards with select king and queen sets up to $1,000. Hurry!
AmeriQ Credit Union's rewards and high-rate checking accounts are worth celebrating. Open an AmeriQ high-rate checking and earn an unprecedented rate on the first $10,000 in your account. Or open an AmeriQ Rewards checking account and earn cash back, travel, and more with every grocery visit, every swipe, and everyone you know. Discover checking accounts worth celebrating and open an account today at ameriq.org/checking. AmeriQ and you. Let's connect. Insured by NCUA.
You know, for most of us, when it comes to health, wellness, fitness, nutrition, longevity, if you have fatigue, bloating, brain fog, well, it's not just about getting older. You know what? They can be messages that your body is sending you. That's where Viome comes in. It is a simple, at-home gut health test that uses advanced RNA technology to understand how your body is really functioning. Go to Viome.com/Hannity. That's VIOME.com/Hannity. And if you use the promo code Hannity50, you get $50 off.
Here it comes. Surprise!
there's an avocado shortage. Now half your food truck menu is costing more than it's making you. Also, you're out of napkins.
Those aren't cheap. Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise, saving 13% on commercial auto insurance when you pay in full.
Also, an ice cream truck stole your parking spot. Looks like you're in a turf war.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Meet Anthony Constantino, running to represent us in Congress.
First off, you. I see through your game.
Wannabe rapper, wannabe Republican. But he can't rap his way out of reality. He's a lifelong Democrat who helped fund Trump's impeachment. After the George Floyd riots, he called our cops racist and sold Kill the Police stickers. He claims he's America first, but he shipped jobs overseas, even replaced workers with robots. Anthony Constantino, worse than a wannabe. He's a fraud.
And I know just how this ends.
The real conservative in the race? Robert Smullen, a Marine colonel. He fought for our country. Smullen was appointed by President Trump and will fight for the America First agenda. He's the Republican conservative and law enforcement endorsed candidate. On June 23rd, vote Robert Smullen for Congress. Proven patriot, ready to serve.
I'm Robert Smullen, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Robert Smullen for Congress.
Registration is officially open for the 2026 Boilermaker Road Race. Get ready for the 49th annual running of this iconic event, Sunday, July 12th. Whether you're chasing a personal best or just soaking up the incredible energy, this is a race day event you don't want to miss. Secure your spot now and be a part of one of the most celebrated road races in the country. Sign up today and get your training underway. Be sure to listen to live coverage of the Boilermaker Road Race Sunday morning, July 12th, beginning at 7 on WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Hey, you know that people of all ages deal with knee pain, hip, back pain, and it could very well be coming from your feet. I actually had a doctor's appointment yesterday and was told the arch looks pretty good, and it's been modified by the Good Feet store and the inserts that I use. Free no obligation personalized fitting just by walking in. Free fitting and test walk. There's not an appointment that is needed. You can walk in. And the strengtheners, maintainers, and relaxers, it's a process. You just follow it. 3-step system. And you're correcting your step, hopefully eliminating the pain without even knowing it. It's Good Feet store. The Good Feet store, 4630 Commercial Drive in New Hartford. For details, you can call 315-999-3910. And if you want to make your home look amazing and feel great about where your money is going, then you should check out the Made in America sale happening right now in New York Sash, where everything is 25% off. Incredible. There are doors and windows and bath systems, 100% American made. And right now, 25% off. That includes their top quality New York Sash brand windows, beautiful, easy to clean acrylic bathroom systems, and stylish, secure entry doors. Everything is American made. So don't wait. Get your free estimate today. 25% off during the Made in America sale. Call New York Sash at 315-624-7344 or visit the showroom on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro or online at newyorksash.com. It's 8:21, and in studio is Shonda King. She is the Republican candidate in the 118th.
Are we saying that right?
Chanda. We went through this before the last time.
I know, and I forgot the proper pronunciation. I knew the way I was going to say it was wrong. I just don't know how to say it correctly.
Yeah, it's good.
My name is Ill. The B is silent. So, just so you know. Chanda.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. No, don't apologize.
Well, we'll who knows? We may know your name really well if you are successful in this. There are 3 candidates in the Republican primary, and you are one of them. And in your mind, I assume, you are the candidate. Tell people why they should vote for you.
So I think the reason why I look different than the other is no one raised me up in the machine, right? So my opponents have been longtime politicians. They've been career politicians. One is president of the Federation for Women, which it's supposed to be building women up. But from my experience, it's to get themselves elected or their friends elected. Mm-hmm. I'm not even invited to any of those events, which I think I should be since I am a candidate, right? Even though she's the opponent, there are other people there that I think I should be there. And my other opponent again, long-term politician. He's been a supervisor in Gloversville for the last 14 years. And I guess my question is, what has he supervised? What has he done? And how is the vote going? Because they keep raising taxes or borrowing from the fund balance. I haven't done any of those things.
Yeah.
I'm part of VFW Auxiliary Club. I'm junior vice president, 4-H. I can go on and on, all the things I can do, but I just don't look like them because no one told me how to vote and how to run this race.
I'm gonna ask you.
One of your opponents is Charles Potter, and he was in on the program recently, and I was a little surprised at one of his answers. And I said if there was a contentious issue going on, I said, would you look to the district to get feedback from residents on how to vote, or would you look at party leadership? And then I followed up because both times he answered party leadership, and that kind of surprised me a bit.
So it doesn't surprise me.
Well, I would say A+ for honesty.
I guess
Absolutely.
so. I guess so.
Yeah, absolutely. And I,
Tight on that. Michael.
Again, I think both of them. Oh, excuse me. A for effort or honesty.
Honesty.
Because both opponents have talked about how they have been in politics their entire life, so they're running on that. So I'm not over here bashing them. They've literally have said those things. So I'm not surprised that was his answer. My answer would be, you, the voters, are my boss, and I joke around and say, listen, let's have an old-fashioned field trip. I'll bring you down to the Capitol and show everybody who my boss is. It's you guys. It's the voters. It's not the party bosses. I think we've forgotten the government is supposed to be we, the people, not the other way around.
The 118th is 119th. I'm sorry, the 118th.
Correct.
119th is Marianne's. The 118th is Robert Smullen's district currently, and of course he's running for Congress.
Correct.
And it goes out all the way out to near Amsterdam, Schenectady, North Country. No,
not
Schenectady.
Not Schenectady. So I have Montgomery County, but I do not have Amsterdam, the city.
And it works its way through all of Herkimer County, the northern part of Oneida County as well.
Otsego County, town out there, and Hamilton, Fulton County.
Okay, so it's a large district.
Correct. All the way up to Long Lake and all the way up to the town of Webb. So.
Yeah.
And I'm putting about 500 miles a day on my vehicle.
Oh, wow.
I am going everywhere. This is my full-time job. I'm running this campaign the same way I will run when I'm in office. This is not just, showing up with my name on my T-shirt saying,
How do you feel about the budget being late? And if you were there, how would you try to be a part of the process? You're running as a Republican. You'll be in the minority.
I'll be in the super minority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me.
So it's disappointing that it's late, right? It was supposed to be April 1st. And here we are still talking about it. So for me, people have asked me this a few times. I'm going to probably vote no often, so I might be part of the problem. But I'm going to vote like that because the people who elected me want me to vote now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just fit in and vote the way everyone does just so we can get things done.
Yeah.
I also see that Albany is constantly bailing out New York City. Like, we upstate are the ATM, and I really would like to see that stop. And I think Democrats up here in the North Country and upstate New York feel the same way. We're all feeling the same pressure. So I think we can compromise and get something done. I am not going to be the Republican who's going to go into Albany, blend in, and then show up every once in a while, saying those damn downstate Democrats don't let me get anything done. I just think that's a punch in the face, and they're part of the problem.
So upstate being the ATM of New York. Actually, most of the money that's generated, the tax dollars that are generated, come from New York City.
It comes from Wall Street. That's correct.
Yeah, I mean, that's where the money comes from. Without New York City, we would be screwed.
I understand, but
I understand. Believe me, I understand. Believe me.
We all have very
bailing
similar.
out New York City is
They just come with a bigger cup, right? So they make their own problems. Like they truly do. They make their own problems, and we have to pay for it. Yes, they do make up a lot of the money, but there's a thing called Tin Cup Day. Are you guys familiar with that?
No.
Okay,
No.
so it was back in February. The mayor, representatives from all over the state will go to Albany and beg for money. It's our money. We put that money in there, and New York City does as well.
Sure.
But
I believe every day is Tin Cup Day in Albany.
Yeah.
To be fair.
So they come and they beg back for money.
Yeah.
And New York City comes with a really big tin cup and gets a lot of our money. Well, places like Gloversville, and I'm only using it as an example because I was just there, they had to borrow from their fund balance over $3 million. Just tighten your belt, cut the fat. There is no more fat to cut. But again, we're just bailing out New York City when they have things they can cut.
Part of your district is the poorest in New York State.
Yes, I think we talked about that last time.
Yeah, it is. So and that affects schools. It affects so many in the region. So how do you, if you have a Democratic majority, and you say you're going to vote no, and you're not going to just appease?
Correct.
How do you negotiate to get money for your district?
Well, we look at statistics, right? So I think we talked about the graduation rate. Last night I was in the village of Schuyler, and they talked about that majority of adults that are coming to the library can't even read. That's pretty sad. And that's not Republican only, that's not Democrat only, that's a problem for all of us. So how can we address this? And I think that the state is handcuffing teachers so they can't teach properly. And I think that's the biggest problem.
I will tell you that Frankfurt Schuyler Central School District does pretty well. If the people can't read,
They're saying, I don't know if it's just the town of Schuyler. I'm saying that people come into the library that are looking for help because they're looking for jobs. They are struggling to read. I don't remember what the statistics was.
But I'm not sure that reflects on the Frankfurt Schuyler School District.
No, I don't. I think it just reflects on...
Which is a district that does pretty well in Herkimer County. So
I was just surprised. I didn't make these numbers up. So I'm just saying that nobody batted an eye when...
Well, they're anecdotal, right? It's them saying most people that come in can't read. Those aren't real statistics.
I guess I would say. I don't know what the statistics
based
are
on my
graduating.
Experience,
I just know in Gloversville, Herkimer, the village of Herkimer, they're all struggling around the same.
Sure.
Schools are struggling. And I don't think it's the teachers that are failing the students. I think it's the state handcuffing them. I have friends, one of my best friends is a teacher, and she says that she spends more time with administration than she gets with the children. And that's not why she became a teacher. And I'm pretty sure every teacher would say that.
Bail reform. It does not look like there is going to be a lot of change, but it's a good example of how we are being treated like New York City.
Right.
Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm
debacle.
not for bail reform. I think if you commit a crime, you have to pay the time. I mean, I do think that the officers are being tied up with silly things like bench warrants and tickets, and they're spending their time doing that. And I was talking to an officer, and he said they will go and pull someone out of their house at night and for unpaid tickets and handcuff him to a bench, and he has to sit there all night until the judge comes in, and now he's missing work. Like, what a waste of time. We have real criminals out there.
I don't know
and we just
what
put
is
them right
going
back on the
on
street.
in Gloversville, but it sounds bad. I'm going to stay.
That was
this
actually
part of the
Herkimer,
district.
just so you know. I was in the village of Herkimer. So I don't spend all my time in Gloversville. I'm from that area.
So you're saying police are spending all their time going in the middle of the night, taking someone out because of unpaid tickets?
Well, it's...
Because Herkimer has bigger problems than that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, yes, not just unpaid tickets, but it's bench warrants, some type of bench warrant, and Narcan. Right? They're chasing that all night as well.
Well, that's a major problem.
That is a big problem
all over, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
May 19th, you got a debate coming up. Tell us people about it.
So I'm very excited about that. So May 19th, we have a debate at Pine Tree Rifle Club in the town of Johnstown, and this was asked of, there were 4 Republican candidates at the time back in January if we would like to do a debate, and we all said yes. Christina Van Valkenburg has stepped out of the race, and now it's the 3 of us. The sheriff has communicated with us through email, text message, and Facebook message, and both my opponents, Charlie Potter and Heather Scribner, have ghosted, not even a response to if they are coming or not. So I'm showing up. The Democrat, Colleen, I met her. I know she was just on your show. She plans on being there. Kudos to her to show up into a gun club. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it is very disappointing that they're not showing up or responding, because for me, that shows that they're not going to show up for you. They're afraid to walk in uncomfortable rooms where I am not.
Will you do the empty chair thing? Is that are they doing that?
I sure hope so. I'm not organizing any of this. I mean, if this was up to me, I would have a debate on this show, every county. I think that we need to be heard. I feel that our race is being suffocated by Robert Smullen's and Constantino's race. I don't want to hear any more about it. I mean, good for them to be in the news all the time, but people don't know who we are because of that. And I'm afraid people are not going to know who to vote for.
Who do you support in that race?
I don't support either one of them, I would say, right now. In the beginning, Robert Smullen 100% carried his petitions, but he's a Marine, and I always honor Marines. So it's going to be difficult for me to make that decision. I just don't like the negativity. I've pulled myself away from both of it. So when I get there on primary day is probably when I'll make that decision. I'm not swaying either way right now.
Obviously, this is primary open. Early voting will begin in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Just at the beginning of June. And what do you say to the people of Oneida County, Otsego, Herkimer County? You're from down there.
Right.
What do you say to these people that want to make sure they'll be represented?
I am going to be as transparent as possible. Like I just said, I put 495 miles on my car yesterday, and I'm going to continue doing that. So I've been in Herkimer County a lot, finding out what do they need. I'm not coming in there. I was in a fire station and saying, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I asked them questions. What are you looking for? Money is tight. I'm not going to come in here and promise them all these grants. And one fire station said, we have really old equipment. We could use that. And then others said, there's not much you can do. We need recruitment. So I'm going to continue being transparent. And this is not just, I'm not running a marathon during a campaign and that's it. I'm going to continue representing the entire district. I don't see it just 64 days in Albany. That's just a small part of it.
Okay. All right. Chanda King.
Chanda.
Well, I'll get
Yeah,
there.
well, you got to have me on here again so you can say my name a few more
Well,
times.
I never used to get Robert Smullen's name right, but we got that down very, very quickly. So
Good luck to both of them.
Chanda King, thank you so much.
Is his B silent as well?
Can I say one more thing? So
Smullen. I was going with Smullen.
I'd like to say one more thing. What I would love to end on this is that the debate is going to be live streamed, and it's going to be on Facebook. It's Fulton County Area News is going to be live streaming that. And the moderator is the sheriff of Fulton County as well.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's Tuesday
and that's
night.
both Democrats and Republicans.
That's
In
correct.
this debate.
Absolutely.
So. Okay.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Chanda, thank you so much.
Thank you
I appreciate
so much.
it.
You guys are wonderful.
Quick break. Coming up, Paul Michonne is the ex-town supervisor in New Hartford. There is a whole thing going on.
Yes, there is.
Involving we're being told was an employee in the town of New Hartford. Turns out he is came in as his attorney said, I'll say this for deeds in New Hartford, came in illegally. And each week, according to his attorney, goes for working papers. But was hired as an employee, but he had employees. Very odd. And all of this, we're being told, was a fishing expedition to find dirt, maybe prosecutorial dirt, on Paul Michonne.
We'll want him to wear a wire.
We'll talk to Paul in studio next to WIBX.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton. If you have substantial assets, a delay in planning can cost you. It takes time to reduce taxes and protect assets. Planning ahead can save money and ease the stress on your family. We employ multiple strategies to protect what you have built. Call us for a free analysis of your tax and asset protection issues, because the smartest plan is made early.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Here it comes.
Surprise! There's an avocado shortage! Now half your food truck menu is costing more than it's making you! Also, you're out of napkins!
Those aren't cheap! Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise? Saving 13% on commercial auto insurance when you pay in full.
Also, an ice cream truck stole your parking spot! Looks like you're in a turf war!
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Did you know your most treasured rugs can look new again? At ABC Chem Dry, we specialize in premium area rug cleaning. From treasured family heirlooms to fine rugs from around the world, our trained specialists use a careful 5-step process inspecting, dusting, cleaning, drying, grooming, and protecting, so your rug always gets the expert care it deserves. Don't wait. Call ABC Chem Dry today at 315-738-1111 to schedule a drop-off or pickup.
Brought to you by Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, located in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer, and online at tallmanstire.com.
The Whitesboro Central School District is hiring bus drivers to support its transportation team. Serving 7 schools and more than 3,100 students, Whitesboro is one of Central New York's leading school systems, with an impressive 96% graduation rate. As a driver, you'll enjoy flexible scheduling, benefits, and opportunities for summer work. It's an ideal role for retirees, career changers, or anyone ready to make a real impact in their community. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or visit 20 Wood Road in Whitesboro today.
Hey, the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients right now. For a while, they were not until they added Dr. Cheryl Mattern, who is from the area, came back to practice here under the roof at the Falcon Clinic. It's the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. Dr. Shemileski, Dr. Zielinski, Dr. Kosminski, and Dr. Mattern, all there under the umbrella of the Falcon Clinic. And that osteopathy is a different approach to your health. OMT is an osteopathic manipulation treatment, which basically sets your body up for each month, making sure everything is flowing and operating the way it should. And it's a great procedure once a month. I do it at the Falcon Clinic. But if you need a new primary, a new doctor, call the Falcon Clinic. They're accepting new patients now. 315-507-4751.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, so we have in studio here this morning
Lance.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
not sensitive, Lance.
We have in studio this morning Paul Michonne. And okay,
what's the proper pronunciation? Since we got Chanda? We got her name wrong. I guess
Michonne.
Michonne. Okay.
Michonne.
We were told it was Michione.
How did I get your name right and not hers? I don't know how I did that. Well, we know you in the town of New Hartford, of course. Okay, I knew the race for. Sorry, I knew the race for. I do not know what's going on. I do know the race for. I knew it was heated for supervisor. I did not realize it was as heated as we're hearing now. Were they trying to get a former employee to wear a wire and get you to admit? I think the accusations are that you were making money. You were cutting deals as supervisor and making money on the side. Is it real estate or that's one of the accusations, it seems.
Yeah, well, I haven't heard the real estate deal yet, but I'm sure that's another rumor that'll start flying.
Yeah.
But really what this was about was during my election, it was very heated, as you said. Not really on my end, but I'm on the other party. They wanted to get me out. They couldn't take that a good job happened in New Hartford, things were happening. The only way to do something is to cause a scandal, right? Every time they want to get somebody out, they cause a scandal, people do. So this started out with that. So what happened was they reported Egger to the DA's office saying that Egger was working for me while he was on town hours. So I guess their investigation proved that wasn't true. So they had to do something. So then what they did was...
So were you working for you personally?
Working for me personally. Egger had a company. So just to get something straight, Egger was here legally. He was here legally. He had a working papers. He's been here 26 years. He has a full family of 4 children that go to the Utica School District. They graduated that are U.S. citizens. So Egger just didn't appear here in the last couple of years. He's been here. He's been a citizen. He's worked for many, many people in our area.
I was at dinner last night. There was 2 guys talking about how he did their bathroom.
Yeah,
did a wonderful job. He did a great job.
Listen, I don't know anybody that doesn't like Egger. He was used as a pawn to get me. When they figured out I didn't do anything, they still had to do something. And again, I really believe, because I spoke to one of the investigators yesterday, because I was actually going to go to the DA's office. I wanted to talk to Todd. I wanted to say, go see him and talk to him. They wouldn't let me talk to him. They sent me to one of the investigators of this case. The investigator said, well, Todd really doesn't know much about this case because there's so many details that happened with it. So this gets me to understand this was a rogue mission by investigators that were 20 years New Hartford employees. One of them was. And if anything else, they should have recused themselves. I mean, the DA's office already set the precedent with the Rome mayor, right? They went out to another county to do an investigation. If this was a true investigation on Paul Michonne and the DA didn't know about it, that's very concerning to the people out there in Oneida County. I mean, was this about justice or is this about, a political witch hunt against Paul Michonne? So now it's not about Paul because it is what it is. I lost my election. I moved on, but this is about Edgar Lopez getting his whole life destroyed and ruining a whole life of a family of a good man that just wanted to have a job and just work, and used him as a pawn because he was the easiest target. The DA's office empowered, and weaponized ICE to get this guy. And even doing that, they still had nothing because there was nothing there. There was never anything there.
Did the charges that for $3,000 he falsified his timesheet, right? That he was on vacation while work was being done. He's saying, correct me if I'm wrong, that work was his employees were doing the work. But if he was an employee, there was not a business, a contract with a business, I think that's where this gets kind of tricky.
Well, it does and it doesn't. I mean, it depends how you really look at it. So Edgar had his own business. He has guys. He has workers' comp. He had a legitimate business, right? He worked at the town. Sometimes, again, because Edgar didn't understand everything, and I guess we all didn't understand, but he had guys come in and help him on projects. He would do carpet in the building. He'd have guys come in. He stained the building outside. We got quotes for like $60,000. Him and two of his guys that he had came in and did the building. He didn't charge us for his guys. He didn't do anything. Edgar was just a kind guy. He wanted to get the job done, and he was more proud than to make the money. Edgar didn't need the money from the town. Edgar didn't need the $3,000. And in fact, if the DA's investigators actually did the job they should have and investigated and actually interviewed me, which they never interviewed me through this whole investigation, they would have knew that he had comp time, sick time, and vacation time to add it up to over $6,000. So actually the town owes him $3,000, and they never paid him out when they fired him in January. They never paid him out, but they did pay out somebody that retired there, recently. They paid them out, but they never paid Edgar. Edgar never took mileage for his car. He used his car to go around, pick up paint, do this, do that, whatever he did. They never paid him for mileage either. The last town clerk years ago that was there for 40 years used to clock mileage all the time, get paid for it. The people in that office got paid for mileage, but he never did. The police officers, when they go out on trips to do things, they get paid for mileage. He never did. So again, I don't think Edgar had intent ever to steal from the town. I think he was just misinformed, just like the DA was misinformed that there was an investigation going on with a supervisor in the town of New Hartford. Because if that was the case, again, this should have been done in another DA's office from another county, and this would have never happened because they would have seen that Edgar never had intent to do anything.
Is it true that he was not filling out his own time cards, that people in the office were filling them out for him?
Correct. They were helping him. In fact, there's even a text message that went from one of the so-called witnesses to Edgar saying, and this is when his vacation was. This is when his vacation for Hawaii that they're disputing. Says, hey, Edgar, there was an issue with the time card. I took care of everything. You just have to come in and sign it. And you know what's scary about this whole situation? The DA's office started the investigation back before July and had a payroll clerk write a statement, that she knew that Edgar was under investigation, right? She knew he was under investigation. Never told me, never told anybody else, signed a statement for them, sworn statement. But then afterwards knew that he was in Hawaii, but then the time cards changed. So there's so many questions.
Are you saying they set him up with a time card?
Looking at it now, again, when I was in it, I couldn't figure, I didn't really know everything was going on because, again, I was a part-time supervisor at a full-time company. I was there to do the big things, the grants, the roads, to make sure things were done correctly on that end. I did the financing, the sales tax, I did the bonding, the banding. Those were the things that I worked on. I really wasn't sitting there supervising employees. That's not what I signed up to do, right? I mean, that's not what you would do for a part-time job making less than, $40,000 a year. So that's not what it was set out to be. So I found all these facts out actually after I left as supervisor that I lost. Those are when everything started to come together, and I started seeing statements from council people that were on the board. Dave Tehan wrote, statements to the comptroller, making like there's all this theft going on and all this stuff. Again, not to be found by the comptroller's office because we had an assessment and an audit, nothing to be found. Again, did this for a political witch hunt. They all got together, and the only person that suffers is Edgar.
Where did you know Mr. Lopez beforehand, and are you the one that brought him into the county?
So this is how Edgar Lopez got there. Yes, I did know Edgar Lopez beforehand. There was a job that needed to be done in the town for putting in windows in the hallway. Rick Sherman was the head of buildings and grounds, couldn't find anybody to do it. I says, listen, I know this guy Edgar. He's done great work. He's built movie theaters. He's done wonderful. He's a wonderful carpenter. I said, maybe you're interested. He says, all right, yeah, I'll talk to him. He talked to him. The town board approved for him to come in to do the windows for $2,500. I abstained because I knew him. In fact, in every board meeting when it came to Edgar, I told him, Edgar's done work for me. I can't do anything. And that's why in the board meeting minutes, it said Rick Sherman, he would report to Rick Sherman. He would report 35 hours a week. Didn't say what time because the DA's office, again, misled the grand jury and said it was 8 to 4:30. That's not true because our personnel department lady came in from 6:30 in the morning to 2:30. We had the other witness, our finance person, was working from home. She had another full-time job. Currently, even in the new administration, there's people working from home and have done stuff, that's not in-house from 8:30 to 4. So that was never the set times. So that was another misleading statement that, again, they would have knew that if they interviewed me, but they didn't because they didn't want the truth. They wanted to find something, and that's what they did.
Speaking with Paul Michonne,
No.
Yeah, but when you... Michonne.
Yeah, that's right.
But when you... It was funny, when you talked about yourself in the third party, in the third person, you said Michonne. That's why I had thought.
That's fine.
But I'm assuming people get it wrong, and you just have lived with it.
I guess the Italian way is to say Michonne. But I've been using Michonne for many years because that's...
We're going to call you Michonne.
That's it. Let's do
All
that.
right, I'm going to ask you.
Okay, so going back to when you started, the illegal status, Edgar Lopez, you said, was he here legally or not? You said he was not, but I have to question...
No, he was legally status. He was no different than surgeons and doctors that currently work at the Wynn Hospital that are here on a working card.
Okay.
So I was an engineer years ago. When I went to Canada to work, you had to have a working card. So it's completely legal. He followed the process, went to immigration on a yearly or a bi-yearly. That I don't know.
Frank Policelli said it was every month. Frank
whatever
also
it might
said
be.
he came in illegally, is what Frank told us when he did come to the country.
No, he came here legally with the proper paperwork, and his family lives here, and they are all U.S. citizens. All his daughter, his kids, they are all U.S. citizens.
Okay.
So there's nothing illegal about him being here. He filled out the I-9 at the town, came in with the proper paperwork, and it was all vetted and sent through civil service, and he got approved. So if there's a flaw there,
it's not on your end.
It's not on our end. We did what we had to do, and he was perfectly legal.
Thank you for clarifying that. Something you said about, if he was staining a wall or staining a building, maybe 2 or 3 guys from his company would come help. But doesn't that create an insurance issue? Like if you contract with me for something and it's not a contracted job, I'm an actual employee, and then I start bringing friends or other coworkers. I mean, what if someone falls through the roof, a window breaks, they cut their arm? Doesn't that, because they aren't actually hired to do the job, he's hired to do the job. Doesn't that create an issue?
It actually doesn't. And you know why? Because he had workers' comp on his guys. So when you have workers' comp on your guys, they can't sue the town nor sue Edgar. Okay? They get workers' comp through the workers' comp program, right? If he didn't have workers' comp, then you're 100% right. But we knew he had workers' comp for his guys, and his guys came in to help him. So it was like getting somebody to come and do community service, right? They're doing free work. I mean, it wasn't a cost to the town. It got the job done. And he was proud to do that.
It is unique.
No, it is.
It's unique. There's no doubt. However, I've hired contractors. Sometimes you hire a contractor who comes in who he does all the work. Other times I've hired a contractor who doesn't do any of the work and has a whole team of people.
Right,
But
but-
again, you're not hiring them as an employee, which is where this gets I think a little tricky.
Well, I don't think the only reason it doesn't get tricky here is because
And that
we're talking about
the DA's not challenging that.
No, but we're talking about criminal intent.
Right.
That is something that it's an administrative issue that, again, Edgar's supervisor or person that was in charge of him could have made that call. But it's not a criminal crime to do that, right? It might be a liability issue, which it wasn't in this point, but it's not a crime. We're looking at the DA's office wants to prosecute someone on no facts and only a one-sided witnesses. That's all this was.
And I want to be fair. We've only heard one side of the story, and I did speak with Todd Carville about talking about it. And at this point, he said there's a court appearance tomorrow, I believe, and maybe next week we'll be able to get their side. At what point you were elected? I felt that you were quite popular in the township. At what point did you become the enemy? That the town board members or people within the town wanted to get you?
The problem was, again, I probably should have never got involved in the town clerk's race. I was fine till the town clerk's race, and then all hell broke loose.
So you
from
picked
there.
someone.
Right. I picked one person over another person because I trusted that person. So, and the person did a good job at the town. That's what I was looking at, right? And the problem was, after I did that, that's when everything came down on me. I mean, let's put it that way. It wasn't because of the service I gave to the town. I mean, we've had the best finances New Hartford's ever had. We have fund balances right now that the next administration could sit there and live off of for 3 years, and they're still not going to show any problems. I mean, we did good things. We did beautiful things at the park, other roads. We've done more roads than any, but that's not what it was about. Okay, it was about pure hatred for a situation that just blew out of hand, and it just went down the wrong road, and it was a fight to the finish.
I know you kind of said you don't have much information on this and no one talked to you, but what is it they wanted him to wear a wire to catch you saying?
I mean, again, I don't know. I really don't know, because I actually listened to the 4.5 hour investigation there on Facebook first time. And when I went through it, it was almost like they were trying to make him say something, but they didn't even know what they were trying to make him say. They talked about making him a special agent and that he was going to wear a wire, and that and then they talked about referrals. I don't even understand the referrals part. It's not like I got a Dunkin' Donuts gift card out of it or something. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing didn't make sense. It was almost like they thought that he's weak and they were going to break him to do something against me, and that's all they wanted. They never wanted Edgar. They said in the interview, "You're the most honest guy I know. We know you didn't have intent. We know you," but
to be fair, a lot of times in a interrogation, they'll say things that to try to the good cop, bad cop.
They don't
thing.
have to be honest.
So
They're not obligated.
yeah. But at the same time, were there times before this when he was on vacation and people did work and no one had an issue with it?
No, and it wasn't that he was on vacation and people were doing work. That's another thing that people misunderstand.
Okay.
I mean, if you listen to the videos and you see the time sheets, there's two separate parts to this. The people they were there when he was at work had nothing to do with a criminal thing. They're saying that he was in Hawaii and he put down he worked 7 hours on those days, right? That's what they're saying.
Hawaii or Sylvan Beach? I guess what I heard was that he was up in Sylvan Beach that week. But anyway, wherever he was,
Again,
he wasn't working.
I don't even know where Edgar was because it wasn't my responsibility to monitor where Edgar was. I'm just looking at the process, right? The process failed. It failed Edgar and it failed the town because there was multiple people that were responsible for making sure the payroll's in and done right and correctly, right? So why aren't they standing here right now saying, hey, it was a mistake or really was intent? But we'll never know, or else there's an actual trial, right? We're not going to know that because all the people that were involved became witnesses and were exonerated from anything. So Edgar's the only one standing out there by himself on an island right now,
Well,
sitting
he
in
may-
Batavia in jail. I mean, that's
Well, and he may be deported before there's ever a trial.
well. See, again,
I know
if-
there are
if-
attorneys fighting this right now.
Right, but here's the thing: if I know Todd, and I like Todd, and I think he's an ethical guy, and I think really he's in the same position I am. His office was working on a rogue mission behind closed doors, and now he's got to speak about it in front of his residents and people that are here in Oneida County. But if the right thing, and if Todd really wants to see justice in this case, what he would do is perform a writ, have a judge sign it, and have federal prosecutors bring Edgar back to the state to give him an opportunity to sit for his trial, and they could put him under house arrest right now until his trial comes. That's the right thing to do. That will prove there's not going to be anything swept under the rug. There's no corruption. There was not anything that was done illegally from the investigator's side or anything like that. Because we haven't even seen the videos from the other so-called witnesses. What did their interviews were like? Were they taped? What was that? No one knows the facts. The only thing knows is the only way we get justice in this country and the only way we get justice in this county is to have a trial, right? Let the people say if Edgar is guilty or not guilty. Because right now, the only thing we're doing, we're having a trial on Facebook, right? Which is not fair to the people. It's not fair to DA's office, and it's not definitely fair to Edgar. It's just not fair. So right now, Todd has an opportunity to do the right thing and have him brought back for his case tomorrow and have him brought back for a trial and put him on house arrest until the trial. If
he's guilty,
I don't know, and he's guilty, they deport him. That's justice. Okay. If he's not guilty and they don't deport him, that's justice.
Yeah.
Okay. But if Todd right now just lets this go and does not fill out that writ and have him brought back here for a fair trial, people will always think that this was corruption at its best, that the investigators did not do what they were supposed to do.
And you never stole from the township. You never did deals here and there that you would benefit from. I have like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You did not.
That never happened. I donated more money and time. I mean, I let them borrow my excavators. And
out of time. I'm so sorry.
From the WBT Insurance Studios, your news talk leader since 1925. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now the latest from Fox News.
He's gone back to his hotel. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
It was a fantastic day.
President Trump at a state dinner following talks with China's leader.
We had extremely positive and productive conversations and meetings today.
His toast to the Chinese people came after Xi Jinping raised a glass to prosperity.
Both China and the United States stand to gain from cooperation and lose from confrontation.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich is in Beijing.
We knew heading into this that trade would be a major focus of President Trump and also Xi Jinping because it represents most deliverables for each side. But we knew that President Trump would be pushing Xi to play a more active role in driving Iran to the negotiating table to get them to agree to a peace deal. And the White House readout indicates that that could happen, saying Xi told Trump that China opposes Iran's efforts to militarize the Strait of Hormuz and charge tolls for its use and agrees with the U.S. that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon.
We just got an update on U.S. retail sales showing a slowdown from March when most of the increase was just us paying higher gas prices. Sales increased 0.5% in April, just 0.3 when you subtract purchases at the pump. Russia launched another barrage of missiles and drones in Ukraine.